Hey guys, welcome on into Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. We've got a lot of news coming your way, including some breaking news. Let's get right into it. News just coming into our newsroom here that Philadelphia police have announced an arrest in this case of a deadly hit and run in which a Temple University student was killed. So you're taking a look at the suspect. We've gotten pictures and his mugshots into our newsroom. U.S. Marshals say they arrested this man, 48-year-old Derek Reed, today. Now, interestingly enough, they say they arrested him on an outstanding child sexual abuse warrant. As a matter of fact, investigators say that this all really began June 24th. At this point in time, that's when they heard Reed hit 20-year-old Bryce Wolf. He was on a motorcycle. They say he drug him for a mile, ultimately killing him. So while he will have to face charges in the outstanding child sexual abuse warrant, he will now also be facing some charges in the hit and run case. They're still pending, by the way. Our Shawnette Wilson and our photographer, Aaron Sachs, are actually on their way to meet with law enforcement to get you more details on what's going on in this case. As soon as I know something here in the newsroom, I'll get it out live to you. So stand by for that. Otherwise, we'll see her in the 10 o'clock hour with everything that you need to know about this particular case. Now, I mentioned that there's a lot going on. So let's take a look at some of the biggest stories happening right around the country. You see the White House to the left of me. That's because President Donald Trump has announced a new initiative to try to take illegal truck drivers off the road. So we'll get into the details of what that entails, who will be targeted, and much more in just a little while. Stick with us here on Fox 29. We've also got Don Timoney covering this water main break on 18th Street. If you guys are in the area, you're going to want to know how many homes are affected, what they want you to do, and how long they expect that service to be out. But I'm going to call this the spoonful of sugar that's going to help the medicine go down. We also have one of our photographers at this adorable little league send-off. We got some heavy hitters in our area. I hear they're on their way to a World Series in California. That's huge. We're joined now live with the manager of the team, Brian Knights. Brian, first of all, welcome to Philadelphia Live. This is so exciting. Congratulations.
It is. It's super exciting times for Westside Little League.
Yeah, okay, so talk to me about your guys. Like, what age range are we looking at here?
So we're 13U. It's considered intermediate in the Little League side of baseball. And 13 age, it's a 50-70. So it's 50 foot from the pitcher's mound and 70 foot bases. So it's the stretch between the little field that you see in Williamsport and the big field that you see in the major leagues.
Dang, you got some heavy hitters. I just saw them slug the ball right behind you. No wonder they're on their way to the World Series. So how did they get here? How many games have they had to play? How many times did they win?
So we have played 13 games on our way here through districts, sectionals, states, and recently this week we won the East Regional down in Dover, Delaware.
Wow, that is incredible. I mean, talk to me about how the parents take this. I've gotten to see how serious of a sport baseball is, especially the younger you are, because they need that discipline. But it also takes the parents at home, bringing them to practice, bringing them to the games. So talk to me about that partnership between the parents and the team.
It's a full family effort here. I mean, we have such a supporting group. I'm hoping not to get hit with a baseball here. But yeah, the family's super great support system all around. You can see behind me, we got people here, getting ready to send the boys off. We leave tomorrow morning. Our flight's at 9:30, so we'll be pulling out of this parking lot tomorrow morning at 5:45 on our way to the Philadelphia airport.
Oh my gosh, how long will they be gone?
We hope all week. We're gonna try and play hard and play our best, and hopefully we come home with a World Series trophy.
Okay, so are they playing kids from all over the country?
I lost her.
Are they going to play kids from all over the country?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Going to California?
I'm sorry, I lost you.
Okay.
Yes, we're headed to California. We're headed to Livermore, California. So there's 6 teams from the United States and 6 teams internationally that will be playing for the World Series title, starting on Sunday.
Wow. Okay, starting Sunday. Good luck to the guys. I know this is really exciting. I mean, even for me watching them. Prayers for you guys up in the skies as you make your way on down. And I didn't ask this particular part, but I think you mentioned it one more time. What part of California?
We are headed to Livermore, which is just east of San Francisco and Oakland.
Okay. All right. Again, good luck to you all. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys play in the Westchester, Pennsylvania area, right?
We are from Westchester.
Okay.
That's correct. Yep.
All right. Our audience is really excited to see you guys. Again, good luck. They look incredible behind you.
Thank
I can't
you.
wait to see how they do at the end of the week, because they will be staying all week.
All right. No, absolutely. Thank you. We're excited.
No problem. All right, you guys, again, that is the manager of the team speaking to us there. I do believe they're called the West Side Little League team. This is the intermediate team, as he mentioned. Their players are 13 years old, around that age range. And as I mentioned too, it really is the parents as well. Of course, it's the skill set of the kids, the focus that they have for the game, but it's also the parents who are helping teach them discipline by making them go to practice, getting their gear, helping them practice at home, just getting the reps in with them, and building their confidence. That's how they end up in a position like this, where they're able to face kids from all over the country, even kids from outside of the country, just to show that they are really good too. So I'm excited to see some kids from Westchester, Pennsylvania show themselves approved on the national and international stage. Again, a lot of big things coming your way. A couple of other stories that I just want to talk about with you, some things that could be coming up ahead. We're hearing that a woman is now facing charges, some serious charges, in the deadly shooting of her boyfriend. So I may have some time to talk to you about that here live on Philadelphia Live as well. We're also going to have an update on the cyclosporiasis outbreak. This is that parasite that I've been telling you guys about for weeks now that's causing explosive diarrhea. You may have experienced it yourself. They're saying certain vegetables and fruits, if they're not washed properly, could cause you to have the upset stomach, and it lasts for quite a period of time. So they're saying if you do end up experiencing symptoms, you're going to want to hit up your medical provider as soon as possible to try to get an antibiotic that'll help you out and hopefully bring you guys some relief. But we'll be having a report soon with a Fox News reporter, just getting us up to date on how quickly and far it's spreading. I'm here, it's already in 45 of our states. So, you know, a lot of people watch us from a lot of different places. Don't think that it's not you when I'm telling you the news. Sometimes these things touch you in ways that you wouldn't expect. Another thing we'll get into, if you guys have been keeping up with the Nolan Wells case, he's that kid who was out and about with some friends on the 4th of July weekend out in Mississippi. They say he and the friends went on a boat out to this place called Horn Island. The friends came back, but he did not. And a couple of days later, 2 days later, his body was found in the water. So we'll be sharing a press conference that happened earlier today with his parents and Ben Crump, their attorney. They'll be talking a little bit more about what they're hoping to see in case of justice, but also they're talking alongside other parents of other Black teen boys who have lost their lives. So this is a much bigger case that we're talking about here. Again, I'll be able to share a little bit of what those parents had to say, just so we're all keeping up to date with some of our trending stories from all across the country. And another thing that's coming your way, this one just personally and maybe even selfishly, I'm really excited to share this with you, but I've got an interview coming up with a gentleman who's survived sickle cell anemia. He's actually been cured of it, and helping him do that was his brother. His brother actually donated stem cells to him, and according to the doctors, that was enough to make sure he doesn't have to experience this painful disease ever again. So we'll be touching base with him. You know, how long did it take him to get that relief, get that treatment? What has it been like for him? Again, this one is a personal story for me. I lost an aunt to sickle cell anemia, so I was really excited to get to finally meet someone who's around the same age as she was, but someone who's come out on the other side of things. And this also is a disease that affects a lot of people here in the U.S. We're talking about maybe 100,000, like 1 in every 13 children, African American children, will be born with the trait. 1 in every 356 adults here in the U.S., African Americans again, may end up having sickle cell themselves. So, big story coming up your way, a lot of things to look forward to, so don't go anywhere. First and foremost though, I want to take a look at your forecasts. We'll touch base with our Scott Williams. Scott, what's going on out in the skies? It seems like it's getting a little better as the days go on. Hold on, Scott. Hold that thought. I don't hear you yet, and I know you're saying some really good stuff that we all want to hear. Let's see if we could try to figure out what's going on. But if not, I'll go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We'll figure out what's going on in the back end, tinker around a little bit, and then we'll get right out to Scott for a live update on your weather forecast. We'll be right back. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. We'll have your weather forecast in just a second. I wanted to let you all know happening right now. Our reporting team alongside our photographers are out getting more information on this charge. Actually, I do realize this is the wrong one that you're taking a look at, but what they're talking about here is this deadly hit and run of that Temple University student. So we're getting some more information on the arrest that was made earlier today thanks to the U.S. Marshals. She'll be able to share that with us either live on this live stream or maybe even in the 10 o'clock hour. I'll keep you updated on the next time we'll get to hear from our reporter, Shawnette Wilson. But in the meantime, guys, let's try to keep ourselves abreast of what's happening up in the skies. I was saying to you, Scott, it seems like each day that goes on, we're getting a little bit better. It looks a little nicer, a little sunnier. Is that going to continue?
Yeah, as this pesky area of low pressure finally starts to pull away for tomorrow, we'll see more in the way of sunshine out there, but we still have a few spotty showers developing across the area, kind of moving from north to south. Of course, the area of low pressure, it's stationed around New England, but it's a sprawling area, giving us that northwest breeze as well. Then as we head toward the upcoming weekend, mainly dry, but some rain is back in the forecast. It looks like Sunday night into Monday, and then temperatures will be climbing into the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees for several days next week. So that could mean our 6th heat wave of the year. Let's look at Ultimate Doppler. You can see some of those showers dotting the map north and west for the Poconos, moving into portions of the Lehigh Valley as well. So moving from north to south, not lasting a whole lot of time, but as we get into Philadelphia, you can see some of those showers now moving out of places like Radnor, moving toward Lower Merion. Some of that's moving on off to the south, so it will likely clip portions of West Philadelphia as we get toward the next 30 minutes to the next half hour or so. But once again, not a lot of rainfall with it, and yes, moving right along. Then we get into Burlington County around the Bordentown area, 206, looking at some of those showers. So once again, this is crossing 295, crossing the New Jersey Turnpike. All of this courtesy of that area of low pressure. So you can see some of those showers have been drifting to Atlantic City as well as some of those shore points. And look at this. I mean, take a look at that big area of high pressure that's just kind of circulating around portions of New England. So a sprawling system, and that's why we have that cloud canopy across the area. So it's looked kind of ominous for most of the day with those partly sunny skies out there, peaks of sunshine, but it really looks like it wants to rain at any time. That's because the low level moisture that continues with this area of low pressure for the Philadelphia area. So we're watching that moisture kind of lift toward our area, moving on off to the south with those counterclockwise winds around that area of low pressure. But take a look at this forecast for tomorrow. It finally starts to pull away, so that will mean more in the way of sunshine, and those temperatures are going to be warming up as well. We've been getting a little bit of a break with below average temperatures, but numbers for Friday, for Saturday, moving, of course, back into the upper 80s, which is where we should be for this time of year. So as we take a look at the temperatures right now, it's only 81 for Philadelphia, 77 in Doylestown, low 70s right now in Hamilton, 60s currently in the Poconos, where they've seen more in the way of some of that rainfall out there. The numbers for the overnight, mid to upper 60s. We'll go 69 degrees in Philadelphia, 64 in Doylestown, 65 for Hamilton, and 66 degrees in Wilmington. So here's the forecast for tomorrow. A mixture of sun and clouds. More sunshine, though, than what we have been getting the past couple of days because that area of low pressure is pulling away. Those temperatures move into the mid to upper 80s out there for tomorrow. And then, yeah, we're talking 88 degrees for Friday, 90 on Saturday. Temperatures for Sunday still in the upper 80s. Most of the upcoming weekend does look like it's going to be dry. That area of rain is going to be moving in, it looks like Sunday night into Monday. So if you're headed down the shore over the next several days, high temperatures topping out right around 80 degrees. Water temperatures still a little chilly in the upper 60s. But here's what I want to show you, of course, the storm system for Sunday night into Monday. That's our next weather maker. That's a front that's going to be approaching the area. So we'll salvage most of Sunday looking pretty dry, but Sunday night into Monday. So, of course, Monday morning commute could be a little damp and dreary, and that could linger into Monday afternoon and evening commute. So just kind of put that in the back of your mind. Now, in terms of the overall forecast for next week, you can see we're looking at some of those scattered showers Sunday night into Monday. Still a chance on Tuesday, and then we start to kind of heat things up. The only caveat to the forecast by the middle and end of next week would be thunderstorms popping up in the forecast. So if we get some of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms, those temperatures could be a little cooler, and that could keep us from hitting 3 consecutive days at or above 90 degrees. But you can see Wednesday, Thursday, we're at 89. 91 Friday, Saturday, next Sunday, 89. So we're going to come close. It just depends on some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms that will pop up that could jeopardize our high temperatures and keep us from getting to 90 degrees for 3 consecutive days. But we're going to be monitoring that forecast over the next several days. But right now, it looks like most of that rain holds off until Sunday night into Monday. A few spotty showers out there this evening, and then that area of low pressure finally gets out of our way. And then we wait until Sunday into Monday for the next front that will bring us more widespread rain than what we're getting right now across the area. Judea?
Scott, thank you for a look at our forecast. I like keeping people updated. They love hearing from you. If you guys want more, either download the free Fox Local app or Fox 29 weather app for everything that you need to know from our storm team. Scott, we appreciate you here in Philadelphia Live.
Thank you.
We'll talk with you later. If you just missed that forecast in the 9 o'clock hour, don't worry, we've got another one, a new updated one for you. So we'll see Scott live again in about 2 hours. Now, big news. We've all been keeping up with cyclosporiasis, cyclospora. You guys may be calling it the poop bug. I think I've seen a couple of other names about it on social media, but it's been driving people crazy. They want to know, what can I eat? What can't I eat? Is this actually in my state and in my city? Well, I'm hearing that the CDC is reporting more than 18,000 cases of cyclosporiasis. It's been reported across 45 different states. That is major. So one of our reporters from Fox News, Pete Cudahy, has been keeping up with everything that's going on. He's here now live to give us an update on everything that we need to know. 45 states, Pete, that's a lot.
Also, I'm not hearing the stream. Just to let you know.
Hold on. We're going to take a quick commercial break. It seems we're having technical difficulties again. We'll touch base with Pete in just a second. All right, welcome back into Philadelphia Live. Let's try this again. I've been telling you guys about cyclosporiasis for a couple of days now, although you may call it cyclospora, you may even call it the poop bug or whatever else you've seen on social media. I know you guys have all the different names available, but the big thing that you need to know is we're talking about thousands and thousands of cases across 45 states here in the U.S. That is a lot. So one of our reporters from Fox News, Pete Cudahy, has been keeping us all up to date with what's going on. Pete, 45 states? Wow.
Yeah, Judea, it's practically everywhere, and that includes Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. So viewers, you're going to want to watch out. I mean, this is something you definitely don't want to get. For some, it's causing days, even weeks of stomach troubles. Now, this is including reports of watery and frequent diarrhea. Trust me, I don't want to bring it up. That's just what it costs. Earlier this summer, the federal government linked an outbreak to Taylor Farms shredded lettuce supplied to Taco Bell. It's also found in grocery stores, but even after they recalled that product, the CDC says it's still investigating multiple separate outbreaks, the worst of which is in Michigan, where the state's Department of Health and Human Services says more than 9,500 people have gotten sick from the parasite. As of right now, the only states not reporting any cases of the infection are Maine, South Carolina, Montana, New Mexico, and Hawaii. The CDC and FDA are continuing to investigate where the outbreaks are coming from, and doctors say the parasite may be spreading through a variety of fresh produce.
Right now, our best guess is still shredded iceberg lettuce. We think it's fruits and vegetables that are more tricky to clean.
Of the more than 18,000 reported cases, just over 6,700 have been lab confirmed. The CDC says it can take up to 6 weeks to confirm a case, so those numbers could continue to rise. At this point, more than 400 people have been hospitalized, but so far, there haven't been any deaths reported.
Telling my patients to be mindful, I think it's important that if you are going to have a salad, go to the grocery store, buy your own lettuce, peel the outer layers, do a thorough job washing. I'm telling my
So, Judea, if you're craving a salad or grain bowl, doctors say you don't have to stop eating fresh produce. They just recommend being extra careful. They recommend buying it yourself and washing it thoroughly.
Which makes sense, and they told us the best way to do that, just run it under that water vigorously, also remove that outermost layer, and I think that's what a lot of people do anyway, but still people are concerned when they see cases growing. Let me ask you this, when you were talking to that doctor, I heard at the end there he was explaining that you can still eat, you just got to do your due diligence, but what about places like, I don't know, like Chipotle or Sweet Green, where their main item really is the lettuce? Should we be worried about that, or should that be okay?
Well, what he was saying is being mindful. It's not necessarily if you go to a Chipotle or a Sweet Green that you're going to get this, but he says there is a possibility out there. That's why he's recommending that people get either frozen vegetables, which he says will not have it, or again, getting your own that you wash yourself. He also recommended when it comes to garnishes, he said it can be found in garnishes as well. So if you get dried garnishes, for the most part, they should be okay. So he's not outright saying to avoid those different chains, but he's just saying you got to know there is a risk there.
Got you. And I mean, that makes sense. One other thing that I want to address with you, you've probably been seeing it on social media too, this whole trend of people talking about they're going to try to get it on purpose so they can lose weight. Not a good idea, right?
No, definitely not a good idea. You don't want to get this. It would not be fun. I mean, I'll tell you, I haven't stopped eating lettuce entirely. I'm definitely being a little risky out here. But I would say by no means should you be trying to get this. It would be anywhere from a couple of days to weeks of very bad stomach pain.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for walking us through with what's going on. We
Not
have to
good,
laugh
Judea.
because it's like crazy stories that we're telling people about, but at the same token, like, it's real. This is real life. This is what we're dealing with, so we got to let you know too. Pete, thanks. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
All right, you guys, I see you guys in our live stream chat. I am not going to repeat some of the things that you guys are calling this illness, but I will say you're funny and you're creative. But if you guys have any other questions about it, what fruits and vegetables we're talking about, don't worry, I can run through that with you all. Maybe even show you guys the map again. Whatever it is that you need in order to understand this, I got you. Meanwhile, we are going to get right into some of our top news of the day. So one of our reporters, Chris O'Connell, he's been keeping up with these vandals and vandalisms that's been happening to cars all across Philadelphia. They say they're in specific neighborhoods, but so far we're talking about like 16 parked cars having their windows smashed out. So he went live to the scene where one of these things happened, talking to the people out there, but also trying to get some answers from law enforcement. Take a listen.
We just stopped by each window and smashed that joint, and passed by and smashed it. Like, I don't even know, that was whack.
Chase Lee reenacting the video captured outside his home during a block-long rampage of vandalism. One by one, a man is seen hanging outside a passenger window of a black Honda, smashing car windows with a glass hammer along the east side of the 4800 block of North 12th Street at around 4:15 Tuesday morning. Lee's family had 2 car windows smashed, repairs more than $1,000.
I was really upset, especially for, like, not just me, the whole block. It's like the whole block, like, upset.
Broken glass could be seen up and down the block. Police say 16 vehicles were hit. They're not sure if the suspects were targeting someone here or it was just a random act of vandalism.
Just hope the neighbors don't catch that person before we do, because that's really inconvenience to those people also. That's 16 people that have to get their window fixed, or delayed from going to work, or delayed going to take in a relative to a medical appointment.
Back on the block, while many victims' cars are already in the shop for repairs, Chase Lee is still asking why.
Just does that on a Tuesday, 4 in the morning. You know what I mean? Nobody just does that.
I mean, really, like seeing the video where you see the guy just rolling through his car, deciding to put his arm out the window, just smash somebody else's window, not to necessarily steal anything, because we're hearing reports that nothing was taken, just to do it for the fun of it? What? Well, the law enforcement, as you got to hear just a little bit there, they had a more full press conference where they got to address this bigger issue that's happening. Again, 16 cars that we're talking about here. You're gonna hear from Inspector Ray Evers. Take a listen.
Most recent incident happened this last Tuesday morning around 4:15 a.m. in the 35th District. This is the 4800 block of North 12th Street. From video, we have a black Honda Accord, we believe, 2018 to 2022. It's traveling northbound from Wyoming Street, and the passenger in this vehicle uses some type of device. He's not throwing an object, using a device, and he breaks the car windows of 16 cars on the 4800 block of 12th Street. We're not sure exactly why this happened. Nothing was taken from the vehicles. Most recently spoke to Walt Burks, and he's the captain in the 35th District. There hasn't been any recent, maybe domestic issues on the block, no neighborhood issues. So we're really unsure of why that happened. And again, nothing was taken. So this is concerning, obviously, and we'll be looking for video. And if there's any tips, obviously it's a call 215-686-TIPS. And this is being investigated by Northwest Detective Division, and their number is 686-3353.
All right, you guys, in that very same press conference, Inspector Evers actually addressed another issue. He's saying that there are hundreds of wheel and tire thefts that are happening across Philadelphia. Not quite sure what that's about either, but again, he's talking about a couple of different areas that are being targeted. Again, 268 tire and wheels to be exact. So listen in to what he has to say about this particular case.
Secondly, which has been getting a lot of media attention, is the tire and wheel thefts across the city. Obviously, there's been an increase in media in reference to these instances. And I'm going to go through some numbers and some things that we're looking at. We're going to also ask the public to do certain things and what the police department is doing. By the numbers, we have about 268 reported incidents where tires and wheels were taken in the city of Philadelphia. That is down considerably from previous years. But the numbers are down, but if you're the working person, a nurse, you're going out to your car at 6 o'clock in the morning and you find that your car has no tires, that absolutely not only interrupts your day, interrupts your whole month, and maybe even longer, because you have to replace those tires and wheels. So when we were speaking with the commissioner earlier, and he wanted me to really emphasize that our numbers are down, but we are very concerned because this really affects the working person, the man or woman trying to get to work every single day, and it is very concerning, and we're putting a lot of effort into figuring out what crews are doing this. We know there's a geographic pattern of where these tire and wheel thefts are happening. They're concentrated in the 3rd, 9th, and 26th police districts, and they account for 42% of the tire and wheel thefts are in those 3 districts. And those districts are basically our river wards, from Argonne Avenue all the way up to Northern Liberties and parts of Center City. There's 4 distinct areas where these thefts are happening. One is Northern Liberties. 2 is Center City North, which is Pennsylvania Avenue near Parktown, Fairmont, the Old City area, and in South Philadelphia. The targets, we know very distinctly what their targets are. They're Honda products. Honda Accord, Civic, and the CRVs are being targeted by the offenders. The offenders that we're looking at, the Philadelphia Police Department's looking at, especially our major crimes auto squad is looking at, is we believe 3 to 5 distinct groups. We believe they're not working together, and these groups consist of 2 to 3 individuals, and their basic MO is they're driving up in a stolen vehicle. We had an incident on Sunday. They drove up in I believe, a Dodge Durango, drive up. They're there for a minute and a half was the shortest to about 7-8 minutes was the longest period of time to take the tires off your vehicle. The incident that happened in Northeast Philadelphia was on Roosevelt Boulevard. It took about 7 minutes. There is video out there. We didn't put the video out, Sarge, we didn't put it out, but there is a video out there of that theft. It is crystal clear. We know kind of what the males look like, but they're not showing their faces. We have a very good description of the vehicle they were using, and they used some type of crate to put under the car when they jacked it down. Why? Obviously, it's profit. We believe these tires are being sold on a second market, either to tire shops or being sold through social media on Facebook Marketplace and things of that nature. The Philadelphia Police Department is taking a lot of different avenues to curtail this. One is a patrol aspect. We know where the targeted areas are. But even so, the one on Northeast, the 9400 block of Roosevelt Boulevard is not in that targeted area. So we're going to put our resources where these things happen. We know they happen on the river wards. We know they happen in certain neighborhoods. But each district captain is putting out extra resources between 11 and 5 a.m. To look for these individuals. But again, that happens very quickly. Within 7 minutes, they begin the theft, and the theft ends within 7 minutes. So we'll be really concentrating on the areas where we believe they're going to be, and in other areas that district captains are putting up extra patrol. Our major crimes auto squad will be processing every scene where rims and tires are stolen. And that is, we'll be processing for video recovery, looking through our automatic tag readers, and printing anything that we can to get fingerprints. We'll also be looking at the resale. Resale is important. As you guys remember, probably 3-4 years ago, we had a huge issue with catalytic converters. And we found out if we go after the end user, who are the junkyards that were buying these, and we work very closely with Montgomery County and Bucks County, we closed down some end users of those catalytic converters, and our catalytic converters thefts went down probably by 90%. And that's the same thing here. We'll be working with the counties. We'll be working with the State Attorney General's office in reference to the locations that are buying these rims, and we'll be working online to make purchases and see exactly who's selling the stolen rims. Lastly is what can the consumer, what can our residents do? There are certain wheel locks that individuals can buy to put on their vehicles. Information we're getting is parking close to a curb, then it's very difficult to get that tire off. You know, well-lit areas, things of that nature. Even if adjusting the sensitivity to an alarm system, if that could be done, that may be something will be to basically help prevent these thefts from happening. That's the information I have so far. Again, our numbers are down, but what the commissioner says, even if one job where, you know, a nurse, a doctor, someone that works at, you know, Wawa, wherever, walks out and you go to your car and you don't have tires, that interrupts not only your day, that interrupts your month, because that's thousands of dollars you have to put out. And folks that don't have the insurance premiums and things of that nature. So we're really taking a serious look at this, and the district captains are putting resources out there to slow this down as quickly as possible.
All right, you guys, we've got the results there, what they're saying they're looking into, and 286 is an awful lot. So we've got an update on our website if you guys want to go ahead and read it. All you got to go is to fox29.com and look for the article or the free Fox Local app. You can also follow us on social media as we keep you guys updated with a lot of different news stories throughout the day. Now, another one, this one national, that I want to get you guys up to date on. So Nolan Wells is the 18-year-old who was out with a group of friends in Mississippi for the 4th of July. They say they went on a boat ride over to Horn Island and everybody was having a good time. Then it came time to go home and all of the friends made it back, but Nolan Wells did not. 2 days later, his body was found in a body of water, and his parents are still trying to figure out what happened. They say for the most part, they really haven't heard from friends, but their attorney, Ben Crump, has been holding press conference after press conference, making sure that their story is heard. So today they were among a couple of other parents who have also lost their teenage black sons to some sort of violence. Now, in this particular case, the violence they're accusations. We don't know what happened to Nolan, but his parents are speaking out again, and I want to let you listen in to what they had to say today.
Thank you all for being here today. It has been 27 days since we have been able to talk to our son, to hug him, to tell him we love him. This has been the most difficult time we have ever had. I want to tell you who Nolan was. Nolan was a God-fearing, God-loving child. He loved everyone. He was the person who would just make you feel comfortable just being in his space. He was never one to exclude. He always wanted everyone to be happy, to feel good, to have purpose. He would lift anyone up. It didn't even matter if he didn't know you. If you took that moment to just tell him a little bit about yourself, what you wanted to do with your life, right then and there, Nolan would be your biggest cheerleader. Today, we are begging, because I'm not too proud to beg. We are begging, if anyone knows anything, his friends, strangers, please call the hotline, because we will not be able to rest until we get answers. But please understand that all of these distractions, these other questions that people, the attacks that people have sent our way, just know we will not be distracted. That's right. We are ready to do whatever we need to do as his parents to continue advocating for him, because Nolan is not here. He is not here to speak for himself. He is not here to tell us what happened. So again, we will not rest until we get answers. And if you know something, you need to let us know. Please do not be afraid, okay? Thank you all so much again. We truly appreciate your love and support.
I'm faced with a new challenge every morning, waking up, trying to process this. It's the biggest challenge I've ever had. I pretty much was raised up like a lot of you. I didn't have a lot, but I always said I wanted to give my children more than what I had. And I think me and my wife did that. We raised Nolan to love everyone, be kind to everyone, because it was just the right thing to do. I got a lot of stuff going, but what I really want to say is, and like my wife said, if you know something, and you are really, if Nolan was really your best friend, or for the people who said that he was their friend, please come forward and tell us what you know. All we want to know is the truth. We're not blaming anyone. We just want to know the truth. Any parent want that. And also, the disrespect that's been coming toward my wife and my family. For any parent, no matter what race you are, they need time to grieve. A parent can't grieve when you have people attacking them, attacking their jobs, attacking their character, just attacking them, period. Like, where's the empathy at? Yeah. We, as Americans, this is a diverse country.
Yep. Yep.
not no one race made this country. We all made this race, made this country. So we all need to come together. And like I said, if you know something, please come forward and just call our attorneys, give them information, and they'll take it from there. Just help us out, and not just us, but all these families. All these families need answers. Anyone with information on any one of these cases, please come forward, because losing a child is something that you got to live with for the rest of your life. Thank you.
All right, so obviously very emotional, tearful remarks from both parents in the investigation into what happened to Nolan Wells. Again, 18 years old, went out with some friends for fun on the 4th of July. He never returned home, and then they find out that he is dead. And I also want to specify, because I do see a lot of comments coming on in, a lot of people confused as to why this case has not been closed just yet. There was an official autopsy done. We haven't received the official results of said autopsy. And so until we have that, we won't actually know the cause of death for Nolan Wells. That's the latest that we do have, though. If there are any other updates, I'll try to bring them on out to you guys live right here on Philadelphia Live. But we're due for a quick break. I want to ask you a question. You know, for us here in the news, we deal with a lot of heavy stories, even just the one that I just brought you. And I always wonder, you know, how my colleagues, they kind of decompress when you're talking and hearing and seeing such hard things all the time. And then for you guys after work, how do you guys decompress? We'll get into it. Ask the Newsroom when we come back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. Had to bring up Jake Leonard.
Hey.
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 Okay, so, you know, we do cover a lot of crazy things, heavy things, dreary things, but you seem to have a pretty nice disposition about life.
Yes.
I feel like I kind of do too.
Yes.
What do you do when you go home after you've covered stuff like this?
Well, you know, I feel like when you have a job like this, you're in this profession, you really need to be able to separate it. You know, like, I mean, we're covering really, really heavy stuff every day, but I kind of even just have to be like, when I leave, you know, this is like work, you know, like in the way that like a teacher, well, that's probably not the best example because they have
like
to do a lesson
doctor
plan.
Who just had surgery and maybe their patient didn't make it. It's kind of like that.
Yes. So, I mean, It depends on if I have an earlier shift or if we're doing this show. So when on the days that we have an earlier shift, maybe I'll go meet up with friends, maybe like catch them for like a late dinner or something, or just kind of go for a walk around the neighborhood. So I'll try to get out there and do something. But on nights when we have this show, I'm gonna be honest, I'll go home, get myself a sweet treat, and put on a show.
Okay.
I'll chill.
What's your favorite sweet treat?
Ooh. You know, I'm always like an ice cream person, even when it's kind of cold. I just feel like ice cream's pretty like universal. That and like a cookie, specifically like a chocolate chip cookie. Like,
do you warm your cookies up for you?
oh yes, yes.
I know, ball.
Yeah. I just had, so my birthday was like kind of recently, and one of my friends.
Leo?
Cancer.
Cancer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So for my birthday present, made me a batch of salted caramel chocolate chip cookies. So I would come home from work, put one of those suckers in the microwave, put on my show, and enjoy.
That sounds immaculate.
Yes. What about you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first started working in news and I was doing breaking news, I would go home, turn on Netflix, and watch The Magic School Bus.
Oh, that is such like a comfort show.
Yes,
Like that's what
yes.
I would sometimes I put on HGTV. Like that's like
Is it
that
like a
vibe.
mindless kind
Yeah,
of
just
watch?
like House Hunters or like something like that. Like just to have it on the background.
And that made me think, because there are a lot of different things that we do here in this profession, but you guys have other jobs out there as
Yes.
well. So I wanted to pose the question to you all. We put it up
Yes.
on our Go Vote.
Yes.
How do you guys unwind after a long day at work?
Yeah. So as you can see, stay at home, chill, 70%. I feel like that's kind of expected, like, because that can be like watching TV. Some people go home and go right to bed. That couldn't be me, but I know some people do that. Only 7% of people say go out and do something. 23% people say doom scroll, which I can understand. And again, we have a bunch of liars, because right now, leave a comment is at 0%, but we have a bunch of comments. A lot of people say gym. Someone says meditate, which I wish I could go home and meditate.
Yeah, that's excellent.
We have
Mindfulness.
we have a few things I can't say on air, but a lot of people have very interesting ways to unwind after a long day.
Extracurricular activities. Elmo Lazy on TikTok says they also like to stay home and chill. Alexa says it costs too much to leave the house. I know that's right. Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's see. Anybody else with some good ones? We got a couple of different people weighing in, and keep your comments coming.
Yes.
Or head to our Go Vote. How do
Yes.
they vote on there?
So you can find this poll, fox29.com/go vote, specifically under the Fox Local tab.
Okay.
And so we also have it on our socials, so you can go on Instagram or X or Facebook, or like you said, even leave a comment in the TikTok chat.
I am cracking up at go out and do something, only having 6% of the vote, because Sips is so popular here in Philly.
I know.
For those of you guys who aren't watching from the Pennsylvania area, it's like happy hour after work, but like it's not your regular happy. It's not your grandma's happy hour. Okay, the whole city really participates.
I also I feel like we've been talking a lot about like generational things. I kind of feel like this might kind of be a generational thing as well. Like there's a lot.
How do you think the split is?
Yeah, there's been like a lot of like things about like Gen Z kind of like just unwinding and kind of keeping to themselves a little bit more. And I mean, this poll kind of is backing that. I mean, it might not just be a Gen Z thing. It might be like a whole new like trend.
Thing.
I don't know. Like I feel like sometimes at the end of the day, the person who's gonna take care of you best is yourself.
Absolutely.
So
I am a doom scroller, which is why I'm always finding things on social media.
Exactly.
On the show, it helps, but turn my brain off. Yeah, so really interesting stuff that we wanted to get into with you guys. Oh, someone says, where's the sleep option? Oh, but we have another person who says gym and then gym or / then happy hour.
Okay, respect.
Oh, wait. I had this backwards. I read gym happy hour, but I thought happy hour then gym, and I'm like, how are you lifting weights and you are not all the way there? What's going on?
Right. Huh.
But
respect to that person.
Please keep the comments coming in. We love to see it. Another person says it costs too much. You guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, more news coming your way. But I like to do stuff like
Yeah,
this. Add
like
a little
we-
whimsy to the show. Let's
Right.
loosen up.
Yeah, that's how we cope with all the heavy news, like we were saying.
Yeah.
A little levity.
Bring
so.
you a little good news. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. I don't tend to get too personal on this show, but we have to kind of break down the barriers and get really transparent and personal with each other for this interview that is coming up. So years ago, I was a child. My favorite aunt passed away from sickle cell anemia. And at the time, my parents made sure that I understood what it was, how many people in the U.S. tend to be affected by it. At this point in time, we're thinking it's about 100,000 people right here in the U.S. That do have this particular disease. And then we're also hearing, I think it's a 1 in every 13 African-American child may be born and carry the trait for it. And so I have been trying to understand a little bit more about what it really is, how it affects people, how it makes people feel. And when I saw this email come through for me, I got really excited. It said something of the sort of a man celebrates 1 year have been cured of sickle cell. And I was so excited thinking about my aunt, and they're right around the same age too. So I knew that I had to talk to him. So I want to introduce him to you. I want to introduce his brother as well. You're taking a live look at Bunting McCauley and Robert McCauley. Bunting is the gentleman who just beat sickle cell. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So you heard me talking there about my aunt and, you know, the kind of personal relationship that I have with sickle cell, but I know a lot of other people may not quite understand what it is, how it affects the body. If you don't mind, Bunting, can you just walk us through what you used to go through on a daily basis?
Absolutely. So again, thank you for the opportunity just to
course.
really talk about sickle cell and how it affects people. One of the major things is that it affects people from a mental, physical, and emotional level. For example, when this past few months, when it with a transition going from extreme cold to extreme hot, I would have sickle cell flare-ups. A sickle cell flare-up can be described as a mini heart attack anywhere or stroke anywhere with a severe amount of pain. You could imagine it almost like a vice grip or someone squeezing you extremely hard, but now it's end up anywhere in the body. So it could become very painful. And one of the major effects is that people really don't realize just how much pain you really go through because it is so devastating. And many times, even going to a hospital, you have to hold on to your own composure while dealing with extreme amount of pain. So it is very disabling to people. Many people in the African American community do not want to go to the doctor because of very scorned experiences. Um, and it's really devastating. I know even for myself, back when I was 27 years old, I also lost my hip due to sickle cell anemia.
Oh, wow. I actually didn't understand that that was also a part of it. So, if you don't mind just going in a little deeper of what happened there?
Sure. Not to get into medical or
Mm-hmm.
technical terms regarding it, in short, is that there was a loss, a bit of cartilage between my femur bone and my hip socket due to the lack of oxygen between those two bones. So my left hip had to be replaced at 27 years old. And you could imagine, while most people are dealing with the prime of their life, I was in a place where I actually had to go to a nursing home and go through uh, physical treatment for about 2 to 6 weeks.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense to me. Now, from you, I want to address your brother real quick, just so we're also still keeping him in the loop of what's going on here. Robert, you kind of saw your brother going through these different things for years. A lot of us, like I said, don't really understand what people who have sickle cell go through. We actually have someone in our live stream chat, Anderson Lisa, who says that her nephew just passed away 2 weeks ago. So, can you just walk us through being on the other side of things where you're a family member, a loved one, and you're seeing someone you love so much in so much pain, and you don't really know what you can do to help? Can you just talk to us about what it was like before you guys came to this point where he no longer has it?
Being his younger brother, we're 1 year apart, so he's 1 year older, I'm 1 year younger.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I'm not a carrier and I don't have sickle cell, but it does play a big impact mentally because you do see, you're from a helpless standpoint. So being there from the time he's sick in school, high school, middle school, college, and he's always sick, and the main thing you want to do is that you want to be able to help, and you can't help sort of you try to figure out what's the best way. Can I do this for you? Can I do that for you? You try to be there as much as possible, but mentally it does take a toll because you're always worried. You're always scared. Is he going to be sick today? Won't he be sick today? I hope he has a good day. You know he's trying. He's always done his best academically while in school. He never let sickle cell hold him back from things he wants to do in life. But from the family standpoint, it is very difficult just on a mental toll because we know he didn't ask for this, and we're trying our best to be there for him in every way, shape, or form. So mentally, it's tough, but I'm thankful for how strong he's been throughout this whole time.
Absolutely, and not for nothing, how strong you've been as well. You said something that really interested me
Absolutely.
about how when you were watching your brother, you were thinking to yourself like, "There's not too much that I can do." And like years ago, knowing that you had sickle cell or knowing your child has sickle cell usually did mean, unfortunately, a death sentence. Research has come a really long way. So either you, Robert, or maybe Bunting wants to jump on in here, but to walk me through when you learned that there was something that you could do potentially to help your brother.
Well, we actually tried, and I'll let Bunting tell most of the story, but we actually first tried to do a bone marrow transplant. I'm going to say about 20, it'll be about 22 years ago now, when we actually did first do the first attempt, and we tried to do a partial bone marrow transplant. We went through the doctors, and thankfully, we thank God everything was 100% match in terms of the tissues, the blood, everything that was necessary. Unfortunately, at that time when we went through the procedure, it did not take. So he still had sickle cell. He was still experiencing the crisis, and I know that was a big letdown, just mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. But I'll let Bunting transition to actually tell you the story how we came about having a second go around at the transplant procedure last year. So go
Yeah,
ahead,
Bunting,
brother.
go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate Rob just giving me a little bit of an intro. And he's absolutely right. It was about the 22 years ago where we did first attempt, actually through CHOP Hospital right here in Philadelphia. Uh, the mere fact that I'm actually living in Philadelphia again and going through Jefferson Hospital 20 years ago regarding the same or very similar treatment is pretty unreal. I actually thank God for that. It's just really a huge determinant to see how God has really pushed through to move from a place of there's no way that this is real to now is actual reality. But the first time I really had the opportunity to really learn that there was another shot was through Dr. Sophie Lanscron at Thomas Jefferson Hospital right here in Center City, Philadelphia. When she just moved from John Hopkins and moved over and got to know a bit of my story last actually about a year and a half ago. So when she came and she got to know a bit of my story, and I explained, yeah, I tried about 20 years ago going for a cure. She opted to really talk to the Jefferson Hospital staff to see if they can try again. So my brother and I did the test, gone through their entire protocol, and actually it worked this time and just had to wait 20 years for it to actually occur. So, there's always something interesting to that.
I
One
mean, big
thing,
difference. We did a partial the first time around, and this time we did the full bone marrow transplant, which
Yes.
it took in the process. It seemed very seamless. The doctors and the nurses, they were great in the coordination. So everyone was excellent throughout the whole process.
so
Absolutely. So the combination of Sophie Lanscron and Usama Gerges at Jefferson Hospital, like the hematology and oncology units did a wonderful job to really assist and move towards this 1 year as an adult going through sickle cell transplant.
and I know this 1 year has to feel incredible. Like, what a celebration. Before we get into how you feel today, I just want to take you back then when you say 20 years later, that's when you guys had your second try. How do you, for 2 decades, still hold on to the optimism, the hope, the faith that something will be done for you one day? How do you do that?
Rob, I'll have you kick off this time
Well,
too.
I'm smiling because I remember when he called me, and the first thing I said, "Are you sure? Are you positive? Do you want to go through this again? How soon? Wait, right away?" There was a lot of questions, that we asked, and just being there, just listening to him, and he seemed so gung ho. I said, "Well, let's do it." But I just all I can say is that God has His timing for everything. So it just wasn't. All I can say it just wasn't meant to be 20 years ago, and it was just meant to happen now. And the biggest thing is just keeping the faith. Just keep praying, and whatever God has in store, God will have in store. So that was His plan to have it now, and that's all I can. That's my answer in terms of from 20 holding on to 20 years. We didn't expect it, so God will know He'll bless you when you're not expecting it. So
I
I
feel
can
that.
start tearing up. So I'm not gonna start tearing up.
I can hear it in your
Yeah.
voice, and it's okay if you do. Bunton, next question is for you. I mean, how did it feel knowing that your brother really did have the key to your cure?
I make jokes. I'm like, hey, whatever you do not pass away before I do. That's all I ask. So I had to make, some jokes about it because it's 20 years. To be honest, there was, uh, I believe it's Prodigy from Mob Deep, and he had sickle cell back in 2017, and he passed away from it, and he was 42, I believe, or 43. So when I turned 40 years old, I mentally and spiritually, I was really in a rough space because it's very emotionally. It takes its toll. I did my best trying to train and work out and try to eat right in many different times, and now, uh, but at that time, I just truly believed that it was no longer going to be a case, and this is going to be my life facing pain on and off, and trying to be prepared for that. So, the sheer fact of 2 years after that, there's a new opportunity. It's unbelievable. Uh, yeah, I really just come to recognize just how much what my brother said is truly God's timing because there's no way he could either believe that. And I know my brother's crying, so I'm not gonna cry.
It's all right.
so, so it's all good, man. We're softies here.
No, it's tears of joy. I promise. It's
Is
a long road. So
Yeah, it's a long
it's
road.
It's a long road, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful to see as an outsider looking in, just getting to pick both of your brains. Like I said, it's okay to cry. This is very emotional for all of us who are watching, and you guys have a lot of congratulations, by the way, coming in our live stream chat. Um, do have another question though. I'm thinking, I read this. I don't know how accurate it is, so I wanted to pose it to you guys. That stem cell donors tend to pass along a piece of themselves, like even down to their blood type. I don't know if that's true, but have you guys noticed any funny new similarities between the two of you besides the fact that you're both crying?
I won't say anything new. Everyone thinks we're twins all the time, all our life. Are you guys twins? I said, no, we're not. We're not twins. I just always make jokes with them now. Please don't get yourself in trouble because I think our types now are now the same. So our DNA matches, so don't get in trouble. But otherwise, we're everything seems to be the same as far as I
Yeah.
know.
Well, I will make jokes is that one time I took a drug and previously just beforehand I took the drug and it was working fine, and then after the transplant, after I got home, I took the same drug and my face blew up like a balloon. The pictures were pretty bad. So I was like, hey bro, have you ever experienced this? He said, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I guess whatever happened, yeah, I got a piece of you in here now going forward,
Right. I forgot
because
about
that,
that. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't, man. I saw the pictures, and that's not being shown at all. So, but it was pretty funny just to watch.
You said you were not letting that picture see the light of day. I don't blame
No,
you.
not at all.
Oh, absolutely not.
But clearly, you guys are even closer than ever now that this happened, that you guys were able to be there for each other in such a vulnerable way. Now, for anybody who's watching this, because we did just have someone tell you guys that her family member went through it. I told you about my family member, and maybe people are watching and they know someone down the line maybe experiencing it as well. Do you have any message to share with people of how to get through it or how to keep the hope alive? Just anything that you can share with people who might be experiencing the same exact thing right now.
I would definitely say the biggest thing is one, don't give up. You know, you never know when a blessing is coming, so don't give up. Advocate for yourself, especially if you're in the hospital. That's one of the biggest things when Bunton was sick, in the hospital, making sure the doctors give him the right medication or the nurses give him the right medication or not too much of the medication, because I knew the history, my mother knew the history very well. So if something was wrong, so stay on top of it and ask the right questions. Sometimes you don't know until you ask. And that's my biggest advice I can give.
Yeah,
And
actually, very much. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to ask you, did you have anything else you wanted to share too? I was going to open the floor to you.
Absolutely. It's the same exact thing that my brother mentioned about advocating for yourself. Absolutely keeping hope alive, keep into prayer. I know that's something that really did help me along regarding my own, but Christian faith. And even if you're not, really do keep hope alive, period. It is knowing that there are treatments out here. It's a big deal. I have walked around and started becoming more a part of the Philadelphia community in sickle cell. And it is a growing number of people that are using different things to actually go through the process. I do believe even in Delaware, there's another young gentleman who's going through a very similar process um, today that I was introduced of. So I am looking forward to being an advocate. Yes, definitely keep hope alive. Also use every resource to learn more. I would say be involved with the sickle cell units. Mine just so happened to be Jefferson Sickle Cell Unit, now led by uh, the hematology unit there. If it's Penn Hospital, be involved there. And I'm very aware regarding social economical issues that are preventative sometimes for us getting the proper treatment. But I will say, to your best ability, please, please seek out the proper resources, the proper hematologists, and hopefully we could advocate and spread more that there are more opportunities here than what it was 20 years ago.
If you guys don't mind, I would love to bring you back on here on Philadelphia Live in September when it's Sickle Cell Anemia Awareness Month. That way we can keep spreading the word of how you can come over. 1 year cured is crazy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Thank you both for joining me here. You guys, what a crazy interview. I was not expecting to get emotional no matter the topic and how I told you this affected me, but they were incredible. We got so much news to bring you right here on Philadelphia Live. Before we go anywhere though, I see that we have our sports team on standby. I don't want to keep them waiting too much longer, so Breland Moore is joining us. We got a lot of big things happening this week, including the Philadelphia Eagles training camp. Today is day 2. Breland, have you been keeping your eyes on what's going on out there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I personally did not go today. Scott Grayson and I, Scott Grayson is our executive sports producer. He and I have been alternating and are planning to do that. With me taking the majority of the days, but I wanted him to get out there and see some things. Whoa, here we go. I thought it was a little dark out here, but I couldn't figure out why. Anyway. Here we are. So he went today, but I did get a chance to listen to some of the sound. And what struck me was this is the first time we're hearing from Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. He's been with the team for this is his 3rd season. And what he had to say about the offense really struck me as a positive because Vic is not a guy who blows smoke. He really tells it like it is. And the fact that he said that he liked what he saw from them, that his guys were challenged today, was really telling about what this new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion, has been installing and what he plans to do with this Eagles offense. They needed some direction. They needed some creativity and originality. And it seems as though when you hear from players on both sides of the ball that they are being challenged. They like it. It's exciting. That's really great. And yes, the offense can certainly say that they're super excited about what Mannion brings to the table. But when the defense gets in there and gets to go against that style of offense and is also saying the same thing, I think we're in for some real fun come this fall. But yeah, definitely really exciting today. And they are going to be, working quite a bit in the coming weeks as they inch closer and closer to their first preseason game, which is it's hard to believe, but it's right around the corner. So
it is hard to believe. I'm not ready yet. I don't have my merch just yet, so you guys hold the line as long as you can. Really, I think the word that you used there, exciting, was like the best way to describe this.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people get the most excited when they see their favorite players get to speak to the media, but for me, it was actually hearing Vic. Like, dude has so much energy, so much positivity that he just radiates toward the team. You could tell he loves his job.
Vic
So it's
Fangio?
exciting to hear him. Yeah, you don't think so? On that mic, he had me fired up and ready.
Judea, I think we got to clip this right now because you were probably the first person that says Vic Fangio is full of energy and is excited about anything. He has a reputation of being like this old school curmudgeon football guy.
I did not get that at all.
He always is very, curmudgeon is the best way to describe him. I think that really sums him up as a human being. The guy's really old school type football coach. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I'm glad, you know what, that makes me happy that was your first impression of Vic Fangio, was that he was this spirited gentleman.
He came out with a joke and everything.
I'm not entirely sure that will last.
He's gonna let me down.
The rest of the season, but yeah, so that's good. But I do think that you do have a good point because Jalen Hurts is also not necessarily. I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but like a Mr. Smiley type of personality, right? He's really business-minded and doesn't really often crack jokes or have fun. And he was doing that yesterday as well, making some jokes, having fun with the media, laughing during his presser, telling us little funny anecdotes about him giving $5 to Jalen Carter, even though Jalen Carter, of course, signing that contract to become the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history. Jalen Hurts decided to slide a little $5 out of his backpack, and he was like, just a little extra on top, which was super funny. You don't typically see that from Jalen Hurts. And if that was your first impression of Vic Fangio as well, this tells me that this team is really relaxed. and the camaraderie is there already from the very early onsets, that it can only go up from there. This is what you want to see from a team in the early days of July, because your deep playoff runs, your potential Super Bowl championships, they are not built in November, December, January. Those things start by having a really strong foundation in these hot days of July, constant back-to-back training camp. So the first 2 days, I would agree with you that we are getting an energy here, a levity here from the guys. It is still hard. Like, let's not say that they're not working hard, but there's a sense of just having a good time and having fun and being loose that you really like to see early on.
Yeah. To me, it means that they're ready to get out there and have a blast on the field and bring us home some wins. That's what it tells me.
Yeah, and I think he's no longer with us. I mean, he's alive. He's just with the Texans. I phrased that very odd. But Reed Blankenship always would say, you got to turn the mean on. But the best thing is to have fun. The secret to a good defensive unit, he was a safety here. He said the secret to a good defensive unit is just have fun. When you have fun with your teammates, it translates, because you want to play for that guy next to you. You know what I mean? You want to not let your teammates down. You want to make sure that they are being the best that they can be, and you want to be the best that you can be for the guys around you, because you don't want to let them down. And the fact that this is already happening so early on, it speaks, I think, speaks a lot about where this team's mentality is coming into this season.
Yeah, how long is training camp? Is it just this week?
Yeah, no. So training camp is roughly about a month long, give or take.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll go a couple weeks. They'll have individual sets, and then you start getting into some preseason games and that preseason training, which is essentially just a continuation of training camp with some games mixed in and whatnot. But it's all leading up to, of course, the opener in September. But you'll start to see, them prepping for, I believe their first game might be the Ravens. I know the Patriots are in there because that's the joint practice everyone is zoning in on because of the A.J. Brown situation, having them go up to Foxborough and practice with A.J. Brown's new team. But, you get 3 preseason games, and then you head on to the regular season, which they open at home against Washington. So we've got ourselves some time before the actual season starts. So if you would like to go get your gear, now's a great time to do it. You still have a little bit of time here, but it really does fly, and it should be really fun to watch these guys develop as time goes on.
Okay, quick fashion question. It's sports related. I've been asking everybody so far, when I get my Eagles stuff, does it matter if I get the Kelly green or the dark green teal? Did I ask you this already?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
It's up to you. I mean, I own every color of Eagles jersey except for the white one, because it used to be I did have a white Eagles jersey, but it was Carson Wentz, and that's just not appropriate anymore. That's a sin. So we don't wear that anymore. But, everybody had a Wentz jersey at one point. And I also am in the market for a new Kelly green, because mine was A.J. Brown. So, note to self, do not buy a number 11.
Dang.
Ever. Because clearly 11 just doesn't seem to last here very long. So, and there's always some sort of drama with the number 11. I think Tim Tebow also wore 11 here, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so I also am in the market for a Kelly green replacement. If you see one and you see a good sale, let me know, please.
I got you. Now, I was going to ask you about the Phillies, but I'm going to be honest, Breland, I do not want to be disappointed right now.
No.
So if we could just ride the high on the Eagles.
We talked about it tonight on the Fantastic Sports Show. I'm like, you know what? I appreciate them. They were horrendous. And then once we had nothing else to concentrate on, once there was no Sixers, no Flyers, etc., they were like, you know what? Let's fire our manager. Let's do this thing, and we'll give you an alternative. No one was around. The Union weren't even playing. It was just the World Cup and the Phillies. And once the World Cup was over and we had other things to focus on, like LeBron James and the Eagles and everything else, they're like, all right, our watch is over. It's done. We can go back to stinking it up here. And that's exactly what they have done. They kind of were a little stumbly right before the All-Star break, and ever since coming back from the All-Star break, it has been dismal, including obviously that sweep by the Marlins, which you can't lose to a team you can't be swept by a team that had previously lost 12 straight games. So they better get it together, because at this point they're in danger of losing their playoff spot. So it's going to be really interesting. And now, Judea, now is the time. It's August, basically. Now is crunch time. So they absolutely need to figure something out, or they're going to be in trouble. Either way, though, go Birds, right?
Amen. And on that note, I want to let you guys listen into what I heard. Tell me if I was wrong. The way this man came on the mic, we're talking about Vic here. He sounded like he was ready to go. Take a listen.
Vic, what's the plan at safety? Is that Marcus's job to lose?
I'm going to be like Fauci and just take the Fifth Amendment on questions. Did you guys see that? Yeah. Oh, my God. What was the question?
Yeah, you had that lined up. The safety position, how are you going to handle that? Is that Marcus's job to lose?
I wouldn't put it that way. I mean, obviously, we're running Marcus there with the first group, with the nickel group, Cooper with the base group. But Carter's doing fine, too. It's competition.
Is Cooper basically locked into that safety routine to move back outside?
Hopefully. But, things can change, if we lose guys or guys aren't playing good.
What have you seen from Jalen Carter as he gets his new extension? What's your approach when guys cash in like that? 'Cause you've been around a long time.
I think it's individually, part of when you give a guy a contract like that, you are also analyze, and I'm speaking for Howie on this part, but you're also, well, what's this guy going to be like when we do this? So obviously Howie's confident that in this case, hopefully he'll pick his game up even more.
What sort of jump have you seen, if any, in Jahad Campbell?
It's too early. I mean, he missed the whole off season, one practice yesterday. I mean, he's doing fine, but to give you anything of substance is way too early.
How valuable was it for him to get the experience that he did last year with Nakobe here, and now, presumably
it was valuable. And some of it was invaluable too, in that, if you remember, there was a few weeks there where we had to play him at outside linebacker because we ran out of guys. That set him back a little bit as an IOB. So it helped, no doubt.
How long do you think it'll take to get Jonathan Bernard into the mix once he gets into practice?
Yeah, it remains to be seen. Obviously, he's a veteran player, so I mean he knows the league, knows how to play, but we're going to be asking him to do some different things that he hadn't had to do in his career, and that's really what he's going to be missing with this time off. He's going to miss a good bit of camp.
What are those things?
Occasionally on drop a little bit, occasionally.
Is that something you think he's capable of?
Yeah, I do think he's capable of it, but he's got to learn it. And the only way you learn it is to do it. He does a good job in the meetings. He's paying attention. He's focused, watching practice, but, it's not the same.
Do you expect him to get on the field before the start of the season so you get a little time to work with him?
That remains to be seen.
just got AJ Epinesa. How does he help that depth on the defensive?
Remains to be seen, but I will tell, and I told AJ this, and I told him to him in front of the whole team too. For a guy that's being asked to do a few things that he's never done before, I thought he did a nice job yesterday with it. It was very encouraging.
Nick, were you looking for?
All right, so I don't know. Again, the way he began, I thought that he was just going to be this exciting coach. I felt fired up, and maybe I was wrong. I don't know. You guys listening to just a little bit, tell me what you thought there. In the meantime, though, we're going to get back to our big news of the day. Shanette Wilson, our reporter, is standing by. She's going to give us an update on her story. We'll get into it when we come back. All right, welcome back into Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. I want to get into some of the biggest stories of the day, of the week, really. What's Philadelphia talking about? And one of those stories happens to be this deadly hit and run, where we're learning a young woman lost her life. Our Shawnette Wilson has been on the story, trying to bring you guys updates as often as she can. Shawnette, what are you finding out today?
So today, Judea's City Council President, Philadelphia City Council President Kenyatta Johnson went out into the neighborhood. He brought his team out so that they could kind of canvass this neighborhood in Southwest Philadelphia where this young woman's life was taken in a hit and run. He said that he wanted to just get out in the community. It is a part of his district, and try to talk to residents there and business owners to just remind them that this is still an active investigation and that the police, the city, they're relying on the community's help to help them, bring this driver into custody. And so we have some video. They just went out door to door today, again, just talking to people, reminding them of what happened on Monday, which is 3:30 in the morning. Talia Nesmith, she's 29 years old, was getting out of a Lyft vehicle, and she was crossing the 7200 block of Elmswood Avenue in Southwest Philly to meet up, her parents say, with friends at an after-hour spot. They had been hanging out, and when she was crossing the street, a car came by. Police released surveillance video of that later on Monday and hit her, knocking her body actually into a parked vehicle. It shattered the window and was just a horrific scene for people who were actually out there on the street early that morning. And so again, Council President wanted to remind people that the driver is still out there, and just to give them information on, how they can reach out to police. And if they don't want to contact police, they can reach out to his office with any tips to help them identify this driver. Here's a part of the interview in which he talked to the media today about the reason for doing this.
We're doing a canvas of the neighborhood today, talking to neighbors if they see something, to say something, but most importantly, calling for justice for the family. We'll also be looking at the area in terms of the traffic calming measures in this immediate area, just to make sure that hopefully incidents like this do not take place in the future. But at the end of the day, the family deserves justice. It was a hit and run incident, and at the end of the day, they deserve justice. And that's why we are here today, to make sure that the neighbors know that as a city of Philadelphia, we stand with them, but also if they see something, to say something. If they have any information, to make sure they bring that information forward to the proper authorities here in the city of Philadelphia as well.
So again, that deadly hit and run happened around 3:30 Monday morning. On Tuesday, there was a break in the case. You may remember that police were able to locate that black Dodge Hellcat. The car had been, left in Delaware County. And so they do have the car that is being processed. It's the driver who is still at large. And so again, that is the reason why Council President went out today to talk to people. Anyone who saw anything, no tip is too small, that could help them identify this person. He handed out, some information here, which that's his picture, and then some just essential numbers for the city that people can call, resources. They want you to call anyone. If people don't feel comfortable talking to the police, he certainly was able to provide other agencies, including his office, Judea, that people can reach out to try to bring this driver into custody. You'll remember, Judea, I spoke to Talia's mom the other day, and it was just a heartbreaking, interview from her, in which she just talked about her daughter being her best friend, how she went to sleep, that night, and, never crossed her mind that she would wake up to get this news that her daughter is no longer with her. We also do know that tomorrow, let me find this, the family is having a vigil for Talia. That is going to happen tomorrow. They are also going to be doing that at the scene where the accident happened. They're going to do a balloon release tomorrow at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And so I know this probably doesn't show well, but this is the flyer that they sent out with a picture of Talia with angel wings on it. And they're just asking people to bring blue and white balloons, teddy bears, candles, as they get prepared to say goodbye to her. So again, the purpose in following up on this story today, and Starling Underwood's the photographer I'm working with tonight. He's in the back. He's going to be editing a full piece tonight. for the 10 o'clock so that people can see, the neighborhood, see that surveillance video again for any more clues, and also just get to hear, as the council president went door to door, what neighbors are saying and feeling. It was 3:30 in the morning, but there is an after-hours spot in that neighborhood. So people were outside, Judea, when this car came through and hit Talia, ultimately taking her life. So people may have something that they don't think is significant that can help. So we'll have more on where you can call, who you can call, and what they're looking for tonight at 10 o'clock.
Okay, we're looking forward to seeing you at 10. If you don't mind, I just want to go back over some of those details, the original details.
Sure.
First of all, 29 years old. Let's all keep that in mind. As you mentioned, a lot of people were outside. This really could have been anybody, because a lot of us go out, we have a good time, we all think we're going to make it home, and then a situation like this happens, or it all happens so quickly. And before you know it, maybe your loved one or even yourself gone. And then the exact area that we're talking about here, obviously Philadelphia has been involved, but greater Pennsylvania area, where exactly?
I'm sorry, would you say, Judea?
I'm asking you the exact
where did it
location just
happen?
one time. Mm-hmm.
So she was crossing the 7200 block of Elmwood Avenue, which is in southwest Philadelphia. She had been hanging out with friends and then took a lift to meet them at an after-hours spot that is on the 7200 block of, like I said, Elmwood Street, or Avenue rather, in southwest Philadelphia. So that is where it happened. The car, however, was found in Delaware County, so outside of Philadelphia. Driver still at large again, though.
Yeah, okay. And obviously we're trying to get more information on this particular person, maybe even an arrest, depending on if one of you guys watching out there may have some information that could help them do this. Again, Shawnette just said that we'll get to see her later on the broadcast side of things here at Fox 29. So 10 o'clock news, keep yourselves updated. What were you going to say, Shawnette?
I just want to add one more thing, because I know sometimes people, we've covered this story for a few days now, and so sometimes the details pop in and out. But that vehicle, the Dodge Hellcat, police said had been stolen, earlier, obviously before the hit and run. So, because I know some people will say, oh, if they have the car, they should be able to, they should know who the driver was. Police did say that vehicle had been stolen prior to, the hit and run.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense too. I was thinking to myself based on the license plate, but now I understand, and our audience gets it too.
Yeah.
But again, they're putting their story together. You guys will see that on the 10 o'clock news. Shawnette, thank you so much. And she referenced talking to Talia's mother. If you guys want to look more into that particular story, get to watch that video as it happened. I encourage you all to go to our website, fox29.com, or go to the free Fox Local app. We've got full articles that keep you up to date on everything we know about this particular case. Just a horrifying incident that took place in southwest Philadelphia, but hopefully we'll get some answers for that family soon. You guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to get into more news of the day. We'll also talk about other trending stories with our Jake Leonard. We'll see you on the other side of this break. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. There are some new changes coming to the charges against a 75-year-old homeowner who police say killed the contractor who was working on his home. So let's get on into it. We've actually got an article available for you on our website. You're taking a look at him there. He's 75-year-old George Barr. And again, he was charged in this deadly shooting of a contractor, 20-year-old Silas Hanrahan. Now, they say that he was working on his home on Ripka Street in Philadelphia when Barr opened fire, ultimately killing him. Well, the charges against him have been downgraded to third-degree murder. Interestingly enough, investigators allege that the contractor was actually here in the country illegally. They say that he had international criminal organization charges to this organization called Traveling Conman Fraud Group. It's a very interesting name. But this all happened on July 8th, that shooting, that is. Barr was originally charged with murder among some other crimes, but prosecutors downgraded his charge on Wednesday to that third-degree murder. So again, that is the latest we have there on that. It's not quite clear why he opened fire in the first place, but police are letting us know that the charges are lesser at this point in time. Another story to tell you about, there's been a theft at a Pokemon store. I feel like we bring you stories like this pretty often and they don't get more normal as the time goes on. But keep in mind, some Pokemon cards are worth a lot of money. So this man who's from the Philly area, he's among two people that are being sought after in this Washington Township card shop situation. Again, they say that he, alongside another person, burglarized this particular store. Why, what they're looking for, we don't have that just yet, but his name is Raphael A. Gordon. He's 31 years old. He's from the Philadelphia area. They say that he targeted Pokemon cards in this particular shop, Frank's Card Shop, located on Route 42. Police are hoping that anybody has more information that could help them find the second suspect, who hasn't been named just yet. But they say this duo, they smashed the front window of Frank's Card Shop on July 1st. They then returned to that small business a week later. They had a hammer with them, but they failed to get inside. Still, police say that this is enough for them to try to get them on burglary and attempted burglary. Now, detectives are hoping that you guys out there, maybe by looking at some of the video we're showing you, the surveillance images, the pictures of the suspect there, that hopefully someone knows something about this second suspect and brings some information to the police department. The second suspect, who hasn't been identified by name just yet, was wearing a gray and black hooded sweatshirt. And again, he was carrying a hammer, according to police, along with a trash bag during both break-ins. They say that second time around they did not make out with any goods. So let's also get you an update on this story. Reporter Joanne Pileggi has been trying to keep us updated on it. A biker, according to this biker's loved ones, I believe it was his wife who talked to us, they say that he was riding in the bike lane, just as any biker does. They say someone who was running walks up, or runs up I should say, and pushes him off his bike, and he says he was this close to getting hit by oncoming traffic. Take a listen.
If you ride a bike in the city, you gotta pay attention all the time, bike lanes or not. Well, this cyclist had the right of way heading east on Spring Garden. The next thing he knew, he was on the ground in the street with traffic coming at him.
I was going to work in my bike in the bike lane. I come from Fairmount, and I turn and go in the bike lane until 15th Street.
Gabrielle Repola remembers everything clearly now. On his bike, on Spring Garden, Wednesday morning, rush hour. He looks ahead and sees a runner in the bike lane coming toward him.
He made this eye contact with me and just pushed me with his elbow to the middle of the street. I fell in the middle of the street for everything. Thankfully, the cars here stopped.
How fortunate, there was slow moving traffic at the time, and the cars were able to brake.
If the cars didn't stop, the car would have run me over, definitely.
The runner kept running west until another cyclist who'd witnessed the push confronted him. They argued, and when the second cyclist yelled for someone to call the police,
he just ran away as quick as he could.
Gabriel went to urgent care. He's bruised and scraped up. His right wrist and fingers sprained. Tough injury for anyone, but especially for him. Gabrielle is the piano accompanist for the School of Philadelphia Ballet and doesn't know when it will be before he can play again. What he's hoping is that surveillance cameras on the nearby building captured the assault and that police can find the jogger who pushed him. He doesn't understand why it happened.
Probably some mental problems, some anger.
If you happen to be in the area at the time and witnessed it, or there's any dash cam video, Gabriel hopes you will contact police so that they can catch this guy. In Spring Garden, I'm Joanne Pileggi, Fox 29 News.
Thank you, Joanne. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break. I'll get you caught up some big news happening across the country. We'll also touch base with our Jake Leonard just to see what's out there trending, what are you guys reading, watching, scrolling upon, all that good stuff on social media. We'll get into it when we come back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray, and I want to give you a live look into the streets of Wisconsin, where our sister station has been riding around trying to find the biggest damage across their area. So you can see a lot of trees down. Thankfully, some of those homeowners and the officials were able to come on out and chop those trees up, but you can see just how much shrubbery and debris has been collected and put on the side of the road to be collected. And we're not exactly sure what part of Wisconsin we're taking a look at, but we all know they have been hit very hard the last couple of days by storms. I mean, even us here in Philadelphia, we have been experiencing some stormy weather for the last couple of days as well. We're talking about tornadoes in our area, tornado warnings, watches, flooding, and whatnot. But to see just how many trees came down in this one neighborhood as they turn around and make their way back through, it's just insane. But that is the situation that they're dealing with. Thankfully, it looks a lot drier out there today. The roads look pretty good. And again, thankfully, people were able to get this stuff cleaned up quickly. So obviously, there's going to be more done to try to figure out how much resources the people who live here will need to move forward. But our sister station should be keeping us update on everything that's going on. So this is live video coming to you guys from Fox 6 Milwaukee. Now, weather has been a trending story across the U.S. for days now. Luckily, not so much for us here in this area.
Phew.
Yeah, but what are people around here looking into?
So I was just looking at, the top stories, whatever, and it says usually when I'm looking at Google Trends, which is what I use to find the story, it like says like a certain term. So I saw Barracuda trending. I was like, oh, like, the song Barracuda. I was like, oh, like maybe like it went platinum or something. No. There is a 13-year-old girl.
Okay.
Okay, so she was from Texas, Sugar Land. She was on vacation with her family, Turks and Caicos. She got attacked by a barracuda.
That's a big fish too, right?
Yes. So we have a picture of her right here. So she was okay, like she recovered. She was still standing, but really, really scary incident that occurred. So basically she spoke exclusively with our sister station, Fox 26 in Houston. And basically, to sum up, she describes it. So she was in the water. She had she describes it a shiny bracelet on one hand, and then like a resort wristband on the other. So she was in the water. She was doing a handstand, and then all of a sudden she said she felt a sharp thing. It felt like she said it felt like she had her hand like in someone's mouth, and then all of a sudden she looked by and she saw something, a shiny silver tail. Yes. The mom said she ran over. Obviously, she was in shock.
I would have been too.
She like didn't. She thought the girl was gonna pass out from the amount of blood. She said she never saw this amount of blood loss, and the girl obviously she's okay. She obviously underwent some emergency like surgery in Turks and Caicos, and she's back in Texas. She's back in the Houston area where she's gonna receive like a more surgery, but she's okay. It's just a really crazy story, and officials are kind of just advising people maybe don't have super shiny bracelets on when you go in the water.
That's what attracted them, but okay.
That's something you don't even think about. Like, this is obviously so rare. I mean, it's a barracuda. You would never expect to just be in the water and for something to come up like that. Like, it's just. It's
you're
insane.
on vacation.
I know,
you're
supposed
just
to be
carefree, having a good time. You're so young.
I know, like it's like you hear stories where people are like, oh, like I got stung by a jellyfish on my trip. A barracuda? I'm just so glad this girl is okay, because it could have been so much worse. But
my mind was boggled when you said she like felt like something was kind of like chewing her, like a little sharp thing, and then she sees something swim with. I would have thought it was a shark, like a full-blown shark, and would have lost my mind.
I know. I've never ever heard of a barracuda attack ever. This is obviously very, very rare.
Wow. Okay. Well, keep you guys updated on things that are happening everywhere.
Yes.
Do you mind if we go into our question of the day?
Oh my gosh, yes. Let me pull it up.
Okay. So I was asking because, here in the newsroom, we go through tough news day in, day out. We see a lot of horrible things that sometimes you, the public, don't even get to see, or you'll see the blurred out version or the bleeped over version, but we see the raw. And that takes a toll on our reporters especially, but I would say our producers who are back here in the studio and our assignment desk as well, who see this stuff come into the newsroom, again, without the blur, without the filter, and try to determine how we're going to get it to you guys, the audience. So when you are seeing crazy things day in, day out that can be traumatizing, how do you relax yourself, when you go through your day? So we talked about this before. You said you have a sweet treat.
I have a sweet treat, sweeten things up a little bit, but like it really is difficult. But like you said, you made the comparison to being a doctor. It's like at a certain point, you just kind of have to be like, okay, this is work, and this is like home. So
I'm gonna be honest with you, Jake. Too, I had mentioned that I've watched the Magic School Bus. It just helps me come back to like little Judea, and I remember who I am.
Yeah.
But I will also say it's really tough too. I lost my train of thought. It is not coming back.
There happens to the best of us.
I think, what's the word when like you are talking or like you're in a social social setting, and your brain just shuts off while things are still going on around. Dissociate.
Yes.
Maybe that's what I do.
Yes.
I don't know how that just happened to me. Yeah, and like I said, it's
Happens
not
to me
coming back.
happens to me all the time.
Yeah. Well, we also wanted to know what you guys do for the jobs
Yes.
that you do every day, day in,
Yes.
day out. Like, not just traumatizing things, but
Right.
how do you decompress?
Yeah, exactly.
when your day is over?
Everyone needs to unwind after a long day
Mhm.
at the office, no matter what you do. So
What'd they say?
we did a poll, fox29.com/go vote. Find this specifically under the Fox Local tab, basically just asking the people, how do you unwind after a long day at work? As you can see, stay at home and chill is way in the lead, 67%. Doom scroll, 28%. So it seems like putting those together, like the majority by far want to just stay home and do stuff. But 5% are like, you know what, we're going to venture out. We're going to be brave. We're going to go on some sort of adventure. Again, the 0% other, that's not true. We're having a bunch of comments. People are saying, go to the gym. You know, we had someone say meditate.
We had someone say happy
Yeah,
hour.
someone said happy hour, which does fall in to go out and do something. But I guess everyone kind of just unwinds in their own way. And I feel like it is important to like mention that I feel like this is something that very much depends upon what season it is. So like it's the summertime
true.
right now, so I feel like well, the 5% who want to like go out and do something, they might be more like, okay, like it's warm out, like let's do something. But I feel like in the winter, it's pretty much universal. Everyone is just like, okay, let me snuggle up, let me have some like hot cocoa, you know, like
Watch a good movie.
Exactly.
Read a book.
Exactly.
We've got Shayna on TikTok who says that she crafts.
I love that. I wish
love
I
it
could be
too.
more crafty.
That's so productive.
I know. I always like. I have been trying to get out of doom scrolling. I get home and I'm like, okay, let me read. Like, let me get something done. I've been trying, but you know, sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, like let me go on TikTok. And I'm like, I'm gonna see one TikTok and then keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
I say this all the time. The fruit AI TikToks get me every time. I don't know what it is about the grape that just pulls me in.
No, you know you're cooked when you're like scrolling and you lock into a video so much you click on the profile and then start scrolling through. Like that's how I am.
I'm
like,
sucked
okay.
in. You got me now.
Yeah, like it's gonna be a couple hours.
And you better actually finish the storyline because you know sometimes they'll do you dirty.
I get so mad. I get so mad.
We had. This is a not serious one. I'm going to read it anyway. Contrarian Bacon on TikTok says, I poop at Whole Foods to unwind after a long day at work. I just have a question. Does it have to be a Whole Foods or will any store do? Let me know.
And hopefully they don't have the parasite.
That is not relaxing at all.
The opposite.
We're praying for you, Contrarian Bacon. With that being said, we're gonna take a commercial break. We'll be right back with more news after this. All right, welcome back into Philadelphia Live. We're keeping you updated on things that are happening across the country, and live out in Wisconsin, we've got another headline coming your way. So I do want to warn you first before we get out there. There is one of our reporters from our sister station getting ready for a live shot. We'll just show you briefly as she shows the scene, but just in case it does come back out, I'm sorry, actually this one's going to be on ELC1. If it does come back out to that reporter, I just want to let you know, so it's not a jump scare, that someone is actually speaking to our sister station, but I'll just be showing you the scene of where we're at. So very few details in this particular case, but you and I can see all the red and blue. Clearly a large police presence. This is Waukesha, Wisconsin. It's a Meijer store, which we don't have those here in Philadelphia, but it's a large super center. They have groceries, a bakery, a pharmacy, general merchandise that's sold there. But the big story here is that there were shots fired, according to witnesses. Now, shoppers told our sister station that they saw someone armed with a knife, that there was some sort of altercation, and then they say the police opened fire. Now, that is basically all of the information that we have right now. So many police officers on the scene, but they are not sharing an official update, a press release on what took place there. So we'll be keeping our eyes on our Fox 6 Milwaukee to bring you all the latest. But that is what's going on in that particular area. Meanwhile, I also want to get you caught up on things that are happening in our neck of the woods, and also what's going on in the White House. I love to bring you guys stories on President Donald Trump, just so we're all staying up to date on some of the things that are happening. So out at the White House, President Donald Trump has actually said that he wants to, and I quote, fix illegal alien trucking. So he says that they're finding more and more truck drivers on our roads here in the United States may actually be illegal immigrants. And he says that he wants to stop that. He actually says that there's a program that expands CDL eligibility to veterans in order to remove over 24,000 licenses that he says have been going out again to these illegal immigrants. So he held a press conference in the White House. It was called Freedom Haulers. It's a big initiative that he wants to move forward. I want to let you listen in onto what it all entails.
And thank you all for being here as we take action to get illegal alien truck drivers off the American roadways. We're doing a very strong movement, and we have had such support for this, and replace them with proud American veterans. And it's about time. I want to thank Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy, who's doing a fantastic job. Secretary of Veterans Affairs Doug Collins, likewise, really doing a good job. 92% approval. That's not bad, Doug. You'll get it up a little bit. Acting Secretary of Labor Keith Sonderling, and along with President of Werner Enterprises Nathan Meisker. Thank you very much, Nathan, and representatives from the American Trucking Independent. We're all behind this 100%. I'm behind it 100%. We got to stop it. Every day you see another story. We're not going to let that happen. That won't happen with our great vets. But above all, thank you to the amazing veterans with us. I mean, they've just been with us from the day they were born, I suspect. They're great patriots, and we love them. And we want to thank UPS, FedEx, and Werner for the job they've done. Thanks as well to the National Commander of AMVETS, Paul Shipley, Chief Operating Officer of the Independence Fund, Doug Ackerman, and the great patriots from the Wounded Warrior Project, American Legion, Blue Star Families, Gary Sinise Foundation, Vietnam Veterans of America, and Paralyzed Veterans of America. We thank you all, and thank you all for being with us. Very special. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, everybody. For many years, American highways and roadways have been terrorized by unqualified illegal aliens dangerously driving big rigs like that. You got to know something to drive. Wow, that sucker is a big one. That's big stuff. But they're you have to have a knowledge, you have to have a talent for it, and these people don't have that. They're driving big rigs, semi-trucks, and tractor trailers, all because radical left maniacs at the state level have issued them commercial driver's licenses, even though they're not entitled to have them. They don't speak the language for the most part. Many of these illegal aliens don't even come close. They don't want to learn the language. They don't care about the language, and they don't speak it. They don't speak English. They cannot read basic road signs. In many cases, they've engaged in reckless driving that has caused many, many preventable deaths, too many to even talk about. Last August, 3 innocent people were killed in Florida when an illegal alien from India made an unlawful U-turn, blocking all the lanes of the highway and causing a catastrophic crash. It was a disaster. Just a few weeks ago, a Pennsylvania state trooper was killed by an illegal alien from Haiti driving a semi-truck. He was let in by Joe Biden and the open border policy of the Biden administration. By the way, today we have the safest border in the history of our country. And I don't even say this usually, but for the last 14 months, because it's almost unbelievable to say, but the media will correct me if I give anything that's even slightly off. As of 14 months, in the last 14 months, 0 illegal aliens were able to come through our southern border. 0. Last year alone, illegal aliens with commercial driver's licenses caused at least 30 deaths and many, many very seriously injured. As president, I made it our official policy to enforce English language requirements for truck drivers and support American truckers on American roadways. We've already removed more than 24,000 non-English speakers from behind the wheel. We've also forced states to cancel more than 28,000 commercial driver's licenses unlawfully issued to illegal aliens. They were given illegally. As we get illegal aliens off the roads today, we're also taking action to replace these unqualified migrant truck drivers with highly qualified American veterans. Under our brand new Freedom Haulers, we call it Freedom Haulers initiative, any American who has driven a heavy truck for our military will automatically be eligible for a commercial driver's license, and it's good-paying jobs too. Any veteran with a heavy vehicle experience from the military will now be eligible to skip redundant road tests to obtain a commercial driver's license. We're going to make it as easy as possible for the veterans within 2 years following their active duty service. And for the veterans where you have a situation where you have not truck drivers in the military, where you don't have truck drivers, they're going to be given a very quick pass. We're going to teach them. They're going to learn. If they didn't drive a truck in the military, but they're going to learn, and they're going to learn very quickly, and they'll be licensed in a matter of a few weeks, I think it is. They're going to take about 3 or 4 weeks of training. 34 states have joined this initiative, including Indiana, Wyoming, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, Florida, and Maryland are joining us just today. And many of the representatives and leaders from those states are with us. It's actually a very big deal. This is a big deal. We believe that all 50 states and Washington, D.C. should join us in supporting these great veterans. And frankly, some of the states didn't know about it. They heard about it today, and I think they're all going to be signing up. Data shows that truck drivers who are veterans account for 42% fewer accidents. Think of that, 42%. And that number, they say, is a very minimal number, even as they drive the double the number of miles of non-veteran drivers. So to end this, very simply, the radical left wants more jobs for illegal aliens and more migrants in 18-wheelers, and Trump administration wants safer roads and more jobs for the American veteran. Now I'd like to ask a man who's done a fantastic job on this subject and many others, Secretary Duffy, to say a few words, followed by Secretary Collins, Nathan, and a great veteran truck driver, Ricky Washington. And I'll just stand here and watch. Thank you very much. Sean, go ahead.
So thank you, Mr. President. And to underscore your point, President Biden let in millions of illegals into this country. And he thought it would be a good idea that when they come in, they get a job, and they get a job driving a commercial motor vehicle. They didn't have the training, they didn't have the skill. We didn't do background checks in the last administration, so they could have had a mile-long rap sheet of crimes or drunk driving or speeding violations, but we didn't know who they were. And we saw that when those illegals were driving these big rigs, they were killing American citizens. You're a family that was on the way to Walmart, or you're going to church on a Sunday, you could lose your life on an American road. So because of the president's initiative, he signed an executive order over a year ago. It was the common sense rules of the road. And since you signed that executive order, we all have been working overtime to make sure we take illegals off American roads and we give those jobs to great Americans, including great American veterans. So that's right. These are great paying jobs. They're anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 plus a year. And it's important because you have men and women who drove big rigs in the military who would then get out and have to go through months-long training for their skills and their knowledge test to drive this vehicle over here. Well, if Secretary Pete Hegseth thinks that you can drive a vehicle like this, Donald Trump and Sean Duffy think that you can drive a vehicle like that. So we have illegals are out, American patriots are in this administration. We've had more people, trucking companies call us and try to find, how do I hire more veterans? How do I bring the great men and women who serve this country, how do I bring them into my company? So you can go to freedomhaulers.dot.gov to get more information. But we are clearing the deck for you to get a great job in trucking. Mr. President, there's a lot of things that the radical left, as you mentioned, get angry about because they're radical. But safety for the American citizenry is bipartisan. This is not a political issue. This is an American issue. Let's make sure American roads are safe. Let's make sure we put great patriots who serve this country on American roads, well-trained, with great skills. And I think this is one of the great legacies of your administration. I am grateful for your leadership, putting America first, American veterans first, American roads first over the illegals who the last administration prioritized. It has been just an honor to work with you, and to me, he's a master class. To see how this president operates, to watch him and learn from him is amazing. So thank you. I appreciate it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Sean and Mr. President. I can't think of anything else that says freedom more in our country than an open road truck and a veteran. Because you have veterans that said one thing, when they raised their right hand, they pledged what others would not do. They said, I will go and do what others will not do. And it is this country, when you told me, and I asked you that question, I said, Mr. President, what do you want me to do? He said, just take care of my veterans. So every day now, since the last year and a half, veterans at the VA are first and only in what we do. And this. So when Sean and I, we heard about this, and we started looking at this, some things that we have done, Mr. President, you're behind this and working to get veterans on the road. I can't think of anything more American. I can't think of anything that puts us first. Instead of the illegals who want to come take jobs, let's put veterans in the seats, making jobs safer and better for all Americans as we go along. Because veterans, look, you proved once you can do it. I know for a fact you can do it every single day. As we look at this, some of the questions that come, the Wild West is over. So what do? How do we get our veterans into this? Well, one of the things that I want to emphasize is that we're now not only taking you as veteran, the GI Bill is going to be able to pay for this. You're going to be able to actually get and use the money to go get your CDL license. You're able to get this, and we're going to make it a lot easier and a lot quicker. Like I said, for those of us who rode in these, this will be a thrill. So we do that. We're going to use the GI Bill. The Dole Act also did something that's really important, and that was the CDL programs. It used to take almost 2 years to get in. We're now waiving that to where the CDL and disability, service-connected disabilities, can get in that instead of having to wait the 2 years. So we're actually putting into place what is already there and saying, you know what, we're going to make it easier for our veterans to do this. Our VR&E programs are already ready to train veterans to go take these jobs as we go forward. But as we go forward, let me just emphasize one thing already, Mr. President. 1 in 10 of our truck drivers across the country are veterans already. 1 in 10. Why don't we make it 2 in 10? Why don't we make it 3 in 10? For those who want to get out and serve this country, who want to be the leaders and be the safety experts who drove these to drive these, will drive us as Americans in the future. We couldn't do this without a great partnership with the cabinet and our partners in the business community as we go forward. But I'm here to also tell you, you can't do it without a president who doesn't look at what can't be, he looks at what can be. And Donald Trump has said when it comes to transportation and safety and keeping illegals off the road, but also putting our veterans first, you have a president who not only says it, but he does it, and we're here today to prove it. God bless you.
All right, so you heard from the administration themselves. They say this is their new focus, and they say again that they want to take a couple thousand drivers off the road. They say those are illegal immigrants, and they want to replace them with veterans. If you're looking for more information on that, Fox News has an article, as well as Live Now from Fox. Now, I just want to give you one last look at what's going on in Waukesha, Wisconsin, the Meyer store up there. As you can see, our sister station's reporters getting ready for a live shot. But just to walk you through it, they say there is a person with a knife. There may have also been shots fired in the area. She is getting ready to deliver a live report for our sister station out in Milwaukee, but we'll bring it back here into us in Philadelphia. We're going to get you your weather update, and we're going to get you an update on a big story here with a water main break. So we'll look forward to that on the other side of this break. All right, welcome back into Philadelphia Live. Our meteorologists have been having quite some fun out there in the weather center. Heard Kathy Orr was down the shore a little earlier, and I heard she brought back some pizza, so I'm gonna need a slice, but I want to turn things over to our Scott Williams to give us an update on what's going on out there in the skies.
Yeah, I need to get a slice myself. I think I can smell it all the way here in the weather center.
It's torture.
Yeah, Kathy is back from the shore, and we still have a few of those spotty showers out there, courtesy of that area of low pressure we've been watching for most of this week. It's a sprawling area of low pressure, very expansive around the mid-Atlantic, of course, into the Northeast as well as New England. So still a bit of a breeze out there out of the Northwest. Those temperatures for today, several degrees below average for this time of year. But as that low pulls away, warming things up for your Friday as well as for your Saturday. Maybe some rain back in the forecast late Sunday into early next week. And yes, still looking at the potential for our sixth heat wave as we head toward next week. Take a look at Ultimate Doppler showing you that area of low pressure. It continues to kind of churn that counterclockwise swirl, still kind of anchored through sections of New England, but because of that counterclockwise wind, we are seeing some of the clouds as well as some of those showers moving from north to south through the Poconos, through portions of the Northeast extension, and some of those rain showers have been moving through Mercer County, through Burlington County, even in Philadelphia itself. We've seen some of those passing showers. They're not lasting very long, not dropping a whole lot of rain. Some inconvenient weather out there through Bucks County, looking at some of those showers, as well as Montgomery County right now, drifting through the Limerick area, moving through King of Prussia, places like Norristown. You've been dealing with some of these nuisance showers kind of in and out of things throughout the evening. So you can see right now some of the steadier showers, if you will, moving through Limerick, moving through the upper Providence area, as well as places like Norristown. As we get toward Radnor, portions of Lower Marion, looking at some of that rainfall as well that's drifting toward Upper Darby. You're looking at just some of those spotty showers out there. So once again, they're kind of moving from the north to the south, moving at a pretty good pace, so they're not really sticking around at your location for any length of time. But once again, just enough to kind of wet the roadways, wet the sidewalks, and enough for you to notice that, hey, we're getting a little bit of rain out there. So Wilmington looking at a few showers, Claymont, Delaware, and then this is drifting into Salem County right now. And then upper Deerfield, even as you get into portions of Cumberland County there, looking at some of those showers. We saw the ominous clouds for most of the day, looking at a few of those sprinkles around Atlantic City. Some of those showers, of course, moved into places like even Ocean City. So the culprit is that area of low pressure that's just kind of spinning away, but that's going to be pulling away during the day tomorrow. So we'll see more in the way of sunshine. We'll also start to see some warmer temperatures for your Friday and for your Saturday. Temperatures currently 76 degrees in Philadelphia, 72 Hamilton, 71 in Allentown, 72 in Exton. Numbers for the overnight, mid to upper 60s, 69 degrees in Philadelphia. And take a look at the temperatures for tomorrow, back into the mid, perhaps even upper 80s. The average high now is 87 degrees. So as we take a look at the overall forecast for the next several days, temperatures upper 80s to around 90 even on Saturday. Sunday right now, most of the day looks dry. We will be watching a cold front approach. That will give us some scattered showers our way. Late Sunday into Monday right now looks to be the main timing of that. So more sunshine down the shore for tomorrow, 80 degrees, 81 on Saturday. And Sunday right now looks pretty good as well. Water temperatures hovering around 70, 71 degrees. So as we go hour by hour, it's really not until late Sunday night, basically into Monday, is when that front kind of approaches the I-95 corridor, the heart of the Delaware Valley. And when it does so, it will kind of get stuck there on Monday. So Monday morning, wet commute, Monday afternoon, and evening commute could still feature some of those showers out there. So as we take a look at the 7-day forecast, temperatures over the next several days, climbing in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees, and then looking at some of those storm chances for early next week. And then it's warm, it's humid. Pop-up storms can't be ruled out, and that will be kind of the fly in the ointment in terms of, will we see our sixth heat wave of the year? We're going to come close Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday with those high temperatures, upper 80s to around 90 degrees. So we need 3 consecutive days at or above 90 degrees to officially have our sixth heat wave of the year. So that's what we'll be watching over the next several days. Still a lot to focus on.
Sixth heat wave sounds insane, but I understand it may have to happen. We're going to keep our eyes on what you guys say, our meteorologists for our weather authority. But Scott, I appreciate you giving us a look at what's going on out there, just updating the audience.
Absolutely.
Now,
Thank you.
Now, in addition to the forecast, I also want to get you an update on a big story that we've been keeping our eyes on. I heard that there was a water main break out there, and we have sent our reporter, Dawn Timoney, out to check it out, find out what you residents need to know. First of all, Dawn, can you tell us what area this is, and then what did you find when you were out there?
Right. So this happened in Nicetown at 18th and Winghahawking Streets. It was reported about 1 o'clock this afternoon, apparently a water main break, and then a trash truck, according to residents and businesses along the street, was driving down the street and drove over where water was kind of coming up, and the truck got swallowed up into the street. They had to call in a crew to remove the trash truck before they could then get into the hole that was then left to try to work on repairing the water main break. And then, of course, they're going to have to repair the road, Winghahawking Street, because it's an absolute mess. It is a huge, huge hole. I talked to a number of residents who were without water for much of the day. About 18 homes, according to the water department, had to have their service shut off so they could make these repairs. I've been in contact with the water department on and off for the last couple of hours, and at last check, their spokesperson said that service should be restored within an hour, and that was shortly after 8:30. So I feel like now or very shortly, people who live along there and have spent the day with no water, which is never fun, should have their service restored. But if you're looking at this video that we shot, you can see once the water is back on, which will be a huge relief for people who live there, the road is a mess. It's buckled, the hole is huge, so that's going to be a whole other situation. As we were leaving the scene, crews were bringing in big cement barriers to block off that area so that it would be safe and people can't get to it. But it's a pretty large hole. The good news is that they should have their service back if they don't already have their service back tonight. We were there, we were getting home from work, and we were telling them, oh, you don't have any water. And they're like, wait, what? And other people obviously have been dealing with it since about 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Crazy. That is so crazy. And yes, the hole is huge. So our Skyfox flew over the scene, but I will tell you right now, Dawn, it didn't do it justice until you guys got that video from down on the ground to see just how deep it goes and how vast the hole is as well. So I hear you say water will probably be restored, maybe even now, but how long until the road is completely repaired?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Judea, because it's hard to say. And like you said, it's deep, it's large. We talked to a woman who lives right on the corner there of Winghahawking and 18th Street, and she was concerned. She, was she going to get water in the basement? The road is a mess, and so it's obviously going to take some time. We talked to a girl who manages a restaurant right there on the corner on the other side from where the lady lived, and she said she actually saw it happen. She snapped a picture of the garbage truck in the hole, and they had to bring a tow truck in and kind of lift it out. But so I think that really complicated the situation. Obviously, the road was really weak there, and when the trash truck, made its way down the street, the road just buckled and gave in. Fortunately, we didn't hear of anybody being hurt, so that was obviously good news.
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably the silver lining out of this whole story. We're showing our audience again one more time that garbage truck being pulled out of the area, and it's like I said, even seeing it from our Skyfox, it doesn't quite make sense until we look at your video that was shot on the ground and you see like what it really turned into. Yeah, that is crazy right there. Dawn, thank you so much for joining us here on Philadelphia Live with the latest. But when will we see you again for a full story and update?
So we'll have much more on Fox 29 News tonight at 10 o'clock. So hopefully you'll tune in.
Okay, you guys stick with us right here on the free Fox Local app. You'll see Dawn and what's going on out there. Hopefully, again, that maybe soon we'll get some insight from officials that the water has been restored. We'll all keep our fingers crossed for those of you guys who are living out in the area. Meanwhile, about that time, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want to get you back caught up on this story that's really unfolding in Georgia, but it makes the difference even for us here, like all across the country. What we're talking about here is a convicted school shooter, a Georgia teen who on Tuesday learned his fate. He was sentenced to life in prison, but his father was on trial too. Prosecutors were trying to argue that his dad knew his son had problems and didn't do enough to try to stop this tragedy from happening. 4 people lost their lives, you guys. We're talking about 2 kids, 2 teachers, and they say that he could have done more. So this is one of few parental cases that we're talking about here where someone is actually facing charges for their child's actions. We'll show you how this story kind of ends in just a second. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. Earlier today, a father of a convicted high school shooter was sentenced himself to prison. They say he's going to face 15 years in prison, although honestly it was a drop in the bucket considering he was facing 155. So this was the choice made by the judge. Now let's get into what's going on here, just in case this is the very first time you're hearing about this case at all. His name is Colin Gray. 55 years old. He's the father of Colt Gray, again, a convicted high school shooter out in Georgia, who on Tuesday learned that he would spend the rest of his life in prison. 4 people at Appalachia High School lost their lives when this teenager walked in with a gun. He sat around for classes for a while and then opened fire. 2 students were killed. 2 teachers were also killed. They lost their lives. Now, why is the father on trial here, you may ask? They're saying that he knew that his son had issues and that he didn't do enough to save him or to prevent this tragedy from happening. Prosecutors argued this case for months. They tried to make it so it actually wouldn't happen in the county that the shooting took place in. They fought tooth and nail for that. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in their favor. Now, again, today, the father learned his own fate, 15 years in prison. But I want to let you listen into the moment that the judge released that sentence.
All right, for the record, we're all present. I can safely say never before have I found my position less enviable than I do today. As you all are aware, this is the first case of its kind in the state of Georgia. As far as I'm aware, it's the second case of its kind in the nation. And what we're really referencing is this new phenomenon of parents being charged in conjunction with crimes that their children are committing. It's a divisive case. It's a divisive type of case where a parent is charged in conjunction with the crimes their children committed. And Mr. Gray committed crimes, but his crimes are tethered to the tragedy committed by his son. And that makes the situation a little unique. I'll point out the first 39 witnesses of Mr. Gray's trial did not mention Colin Gray. They did not testify about anything that Colin Gray did. It was the tragedy that he's tethered to from Colt. Now again, Mr. Gray committed crimes and he was convicted because of his failure to act and intervene. I want to talk for a second about just some principles in American justice. The highest level of criminal responsibility or culpability is for someone who willfully, knowingly, intentionally commits a crime. The lowest level of criminal culpability in our system is criminal negligence. You didn't intend to commit a crime, but you ignored foreseeable harm. You failed to act in a certain way. You failed to intervene. And there's an easy example. Take a premeditated murder. Someone plans a murder. They want to kill someone, and they follow through on that plan, and they shoot them with a gun and kill them. And then in the other situation, someone's playing around with a loaded gun, recklessly, negligently, and they accidentally shoot and kill someone. Those crimes aren't punished the same. One is intentional, one is negligent. I want to point out that every one of the 27 charges that Colin Gray was convicted of are criminal negligence. Every one of them. Punishing criminal negligence is not easy, in part because they didn't intend to commit a crime. The punishment generally comes from the foreseeability of the harm and from the damage that results. It is clear you failed as a parent. You did not provide a stable household. You did not have things in check with Marcy's issues and what the kids were being exposed to. You did not have Colt in activities that a boy should be in, where he's making connections with other children in person, where he feels loved, where he feels accepted. You didn't monitor what was going on with him in the computer. You didn't have him in school. He was in your care his entire 8th grade year, and he didn't go to school. And what did he do each of those days he should have been in school? He watched and rewatched the school shooting trial of Nicholas Cruz. He fell deeper and deeper into this obsession when he should have been in school every day. And that was a failure on your part. You didn't get him mental health counseling when it was obvious he needed some. None of those failures helped your case, but those aren't why you were convicted. You were convicted because the warning lights were flashing brighter and brighter, and you didn't get him help, and you didn't remove his access to the guns. I recognize that no parent believes that their child is capable of committing a heinous crime. No parent thinks that their child is going to be the next school shooter. But it became more and more obvious that something bad was going to happen. At a minimum, you should have believed that Colt would commit suicide. And you failed to do the simplest things to prevent this. You had gun locks, and you didn't use them. You could have got $100-something safe and put the guns in the safe. If you had done that, you wouldn't be here today. You could have removed the ammo and the magazines from the house, and if you'd done that, you wouldn't be here today. You could have let someone else hold the guns while you got Colt help. If you'd done that, you wouldn't be here today. If you had done any of those things, Ms. Yeremy, Mr. Aspinwall, Mason, Christian would be here today. And your negligence didn't arise in an instant. It was repeated day after day. The entire first month of school was an opportunity to remove the guns to get Colt help. And you failed. Again, sentencing for negligence is very difficult because there's not an intention to commit a crime. None of the crimes that you're convicted of require mandatory prison. And as I mentioned, the weight of your crimes is tethered and tied to the acts of someone else, your son. Two scenarios. You fail the same way in both. You fail to get Colt counseling. You fail to remove the guns from the house. In the one scenario, Colt changes his mind, doesn't go through with it. You're not charged with any crime at all. Your very same failures, Colt goes through with it as he did, commits the atrocity, and the state's asked him for 80 years confinement for you. But your actions are identical in each of those scenarios. My heart aches for everyone that was there that day, for all of you that have been impacted by it. But the law requires that I set aside emotion. I don't get to sentence with passion. I have the nearly impossible task of sentencing you without passion, despite the immeasurable heartache that you've caused. On September 4, 2024, lives and families were forever altered. You are the but for you failing to get Colt help, but for your failure to remove access to the guns, this doesn't happen. September 4th would have been a normal day. Mr. Aspinwall, Miss Iremy, Mason, Christian, Mr. Phoenix, Natalie, Melanie, Taylor, Jackson, they all would have gone home as normal to have dinner with their loved ones. It's the but for that the community has such outrage for you. But it matters that you didn't have actual knowledge that Colt was going to school to do that. It matters that you didn't intentionally commit a crime. It matters that you didn't plan an attack. It matters that you didn't seek to harm anyone. It matters that you didn't pull a trigger. As I indicated, all of your crimes are a form of criminal negligence. None of them require mandatory prison. I don't have a concern that you're going to commit future crimes. You're 55 years old and you have no criminal history. You didn't intend to commit these crimes that you've been convicted of. But the loss here is profound. But I still have to distinguish your acts from the malignant heart in the acts that Colt Gray committed upon the Appalachian School. For each of the murders in the second degree, I'm sentencing you to 15 years in confinement concurrent with one another. For each of the involuntary manslaughters, I'm sentencing you to 10 years confinement concurrent. For each non-merging cruelty to children, I'm sentencing you to 10 years in confinement concurrent. For each non-merging reckless conduct charge, I'm sentencing you to 12 months confinement concurrent. This is an aggregate sentence of 15 years in prison. I'm going to have the sentence filed presently. I want to advise you, I'm required to advise you that you have certain post-conviction appellate rights. You have the right to a court-appointed attorney if you need one, to file a direct appeal or a motion for new trial. Those have to be filed within 30 days of today's date. You have a right to file a petition for habeas corpus to challenge any violation of your constitutional rights or any legal errors. That has to be filed within 4 years of today's date. You have no right to a court-appointed attorney for a habeas corpus petition, as it's a civil proceeding. I'll ask defense counsel to file a placeholder motion for you. If you need court-appointed counsel, make sure you apply so that you can comply with those 30-day deadlines. If your motion for new trial is denied, you have a right to a court-appointed counsel and can file an appeal from that within 30 days of that denial. This only closes the legal chapter of this horror. The pain, the heartache, they continue. I understand that. I hope all of you know that this community loves you, and I ask that God gives you peace. Thank you. We're adjourned.
All right, as they lead Colin Gray out of the courtroom and into jail, where he will be in custody until he is taken to the prison where he'll spend the rest of his 15-year sentence. This happened today. And I mentioned earlier that even though it took place in Bexar County, Georgia, that this had implications for the rest of the country, even us here in Philadelphia. This is only the second time here in United States history that a parent has been charged even though their child carried out heinous crime. The only other time we know about is the Michigan high school shooting. I will not name that shooter in this particular segment. But this will be the second time, and it may set a precedent for parents in the future. The judge there, if a lot of you guys were commenting on, how he carried this out, this sentencing, by the way, that is Judge Nicholas Prim, again from Bexar County, out in Georgia, the judge really imparting knowledge, kind of saying, hey, parents, this is your time to wake up. If you have any inkling that your children are not happy, that they have plans to hurt other people, and you don't do anything, you could end up going to prison alongside them. He said that this wasn't an easy decision to come to, but he felt very confident in what he decided to issue. So as you heard there, he kept saying 15 years, 15 years, 15 years, 12 months. These are all concurrent sentences, which means they're all going to be served at the same time, which is why he's only in total going to serve 15 years in prison. His son was sentenced to serve the rest of his life behind bars without the possibility of parole. So that's the story there out of Barrow County, Georgia, where a teen opened fire, killing 2 students, 2 teachers, and injuring 11 other people. We heard countless victim testimony throughout this court case. It's probably one of the hardest ones I've ever had to listen to. But that's the story there. We're going to take a quick commercial break, you guys. When we come back, I'll get you caught up on what you need to know ahead for the 10 o'clock news, and maybe even look and see what's trending out there and give my question of the night. We'll be right back. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. The live stream is ending with me soon, but we're getting you up to date on everything you need to know for the 10 o'clock news. So I suggest you don't touch anything if you're already watching us on the free Fox Local app. But if you are on one of our social media apps, I also suggest you hit us up on our website, fox29.com/live. We'll keep you up to date with everything you need to know. First things first, our Shawnette Wilson is doing a live report on everything we know, updates on this woman who was hit and killed by a car. They say that she was on her way to an after-hour spot in Southwest Philadelphia. Her parents have talked about her in depth, saying that she was the life of the party. But they say she was exiting a vehicle. Someone came by, hit her, killed her, kept going. They've found the vehicle, but now what happened to the driver? We'll try to get into that and what we know from police in just a little while. Another big story we're keeping our eyes on, our Dawn Timoney is looking into this water main break. There is a huge hole, you guys, in the area of 18th Street and Winglehocking right here in Philadelphia. Officials have been trying to restore water to the residents in those areas. We're talking about multiple homes without water all day long. Maybe having that restored at this point in time. We'll get an update with Dawn on what's going on out there, but keep in mind that hole in the ground remains. So what's going to happen next? We'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, I also want to get you caught up on some trending stories and whatnot. We always check in with our Jake Leonard just to see what's going on out there. The water is back?
Just got good news from Dawn Timoney.
Okay, you guys.
Timoney got confirmation the water is back.
Beautiful breaking news right here. This is our executive producer, Chris, coming on in. Do we have that microphone? Well, if you guys couldn't hear him, I'll go ahead and repeat it for him. Okay, all right. He's getting ready.
I can tell you real quick.
Okay.
We got to run back into the newsroom, but Dawn Timoney, who you spoke with earlier and has been reporting on this story, she got confirmation just now. The water is back on. So some good news. She's going to have more at 10 o'clock.
Beautiful. Thank you,
Yes.
Chris. All right. That was honestly perfect breaking news. He's getting ready to do the show right now. So thankfully, he came in to give us the latest right here on Philadelphia Live. And on that note, I do kind of want to end the show on a positive note, give you guys a little more lighthearted news. So you've been keeping up with things that are going on around town. We've also been asking everybody our big question of the night, like when you've had a tough day at work, or for us, we have all these hard news stories, what do you do to decompress?
Yeah. So we did a poll, fox29.com/go vote, specifically the Fox Local tab, basically saying how do you unwind after a long day at work. Doom scrolling, 26%. Stay at home chill, 69%, and go out and do something, 5%. So a lot of people don't really want to do anything after work, which is okay. Teach their own, I guess.
Yeah, some people are like, I finally got in. You know, they say women, the first thing that you want to do is rip the bra off. You'll keep the t-shirt or whatever you have on top. You just want to take that part off. A lot of other people, they get into their pajamas right away, maybe take a long shower, but long story short, sit on the couch and you do nothing.
Long shower. You know, it's so funny. I don't know if I'm like weird for this. I like having my pajamas only in my bed. So I'll get home sometimes and I'll like change into like comfy clothes, but I won't change into my pajamas until I'm like ready to go to bed.
I don't think that's weird.
Okay, thank you, because some of my friends are like, why don't you just put on your pajamas? Like, I'm sorry,
because
like I have chill
outside
clothes.
Germs.
Yes. I just want my pajamas to be like all nice and clean and like ready. I don't know. Even if I'm just like staying on my couch, not that it's like dirty or anything. It just like, it just feels different. I don't know. I
am the same exact way. You guys tell us in the comment section if you're different. I don't judge you.
No, my apartment has like 2 levels. So for me, like when I'm downstairs, it's different than being like upstairs where my room is. So I don't know.
That, you know, doctors actually say that is the way that you should do things. Like they tell you not to work or eat in bed because once you enter your room, that should be the ultimate, like, just calm, chill, getting ready to go to sleep space.
Yes, no,
that probably helps.
My roommate works from home and she is very much like, I don't want to work in my room. Like my room is my space. I don't want to be working from there, which I know a lot of people do work from their rooms because they have to, but we're lucky enough that she has space where she can go and kind of keep her work separate from her.
Yeah, beautiful.
Chill out.
We've got Brenda J. Lamore says, I stay home, chill, eat, and watch Philadelphia Live.
Yay,
and we love you for it.
Love it.
Thanks for always joining with us. We got a lot of viewers who come in and out, but Brenda definitely is like
she's a
top,
real one.
top
She's
viewer.
A real one.
Appreciate you. Okay, so I see that we've got where the Philadelphia Eagles